East looked like this. The Jets atop and facing two division opponents. All they had to do was win both of those, and they seemed in control. They lost them both, and both convincingly. And so now they're 6-7, and mathematically they still have a chance, but it is very slim. I'm Pat Summerall with John Madden, and with all that in mind, John, how did the Jets and Joe Walton approach this game?
Well, you know, they know that they were terrible the last 2 weeks, and as Joe Walton says, if we can't respond when we're playing the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots, we really aren't a playoff team anyway. So I think they're coming into this game. They really don't have much confidence. So all they're looking for, try and get a win and maybe get some confidence back.
And as far as the Philadelphia Eagles are concerned, and Coach Buddy Ryan, although they're out of it, their record 5-8, he seems optimistic and enthusiastic about the future.
Well, at least he has a smile on his face, and I think what he's optimistic about, as you say, is his future. He said that he thinks after one more draft, they can be a playoff team. After 2 more drafts, they can be a Super Bowl team.
Giant Stadium again in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and John Telsig will kick off instead of Paul McFadden, who usually does. JoJo Townsell back deep for the Jets, along with Tracy Martin. Telsig's kickoff to Townsell. To about the 28, stopped by the leader of the special teams, Ty Allard. Ken O'Brien is the Jet quarterback. And this is the defense he'll be looking at. Reggie White, Mike Pitts, Jerome Brown, and Clyde Simmons. The 3 linebackers, Seth Joyner, Byron Evans starting in the middle in place of Reichenbach. Roydell Young and William Frizzell, the cornerbacks, and Terry Hogue and Andre Waters, the 2 safety men. 1st and 10 Jets at their own 29. Roger Big and Johnny Hector, the 2 runners behind O'Brien. Batted away at the last second, intended for Kurt Stone. Roydell Young very nearly had 6. Here's the offensive setup for the Jets. O'Brien, the quarterback, Vick and Hector, the runners, Toon and Stone, wide receivers. The offensive line, really 5 guards in the middle of that. Sweeney, Fields, Bingham, Alexander, McElroy, and the tight end is Mickey Schuler. O'Brien on 2nd and 10. Stone wide right, Toon wide left. Schuler on the move. This is Johnny Hector. Roger Vick, beg your pardon. 5 yards. Byron Evans made the stop.
Well, you know, here you look out there in the corner. If there's any place that the Eagles are having a tough time this year, and one thing that they have to really try and get some new guys, that's defensive backs. This is what it looks like when they run away from you. I think Buddy Ryan wants his corners to get up, to be more physical, to get up, to make something happen. Don't lay off. Don't be scared, as he says.
The way they play defense, you better be aggressive. 3rd and 5. O'Brien back to throw. Outside intended for Hector, incomplete. Andre Waters on the coverage. Mike Pitts hit O'Brien just as he let it go.
You know, and that wasn't the type of start that Joe Walton and Ken O'Brien were talking about. You know, they really don't have confidence. They wanted to get some confidence. The first pass is almost picked off. The second time he throws, he gets up looking at his ear hole.
Dave Jennings gets off a fine kick in the direction of Bobby Morse. He fair catches it at his own 26. But of 40 yards by Jennings. You know, one of the things about the Jets in the last 2 weeks, particularly, this is Randall Cunningham, the quarterback, and the defense he'll be facing. 3-man front. Gastineau getting a start. First time this year. Klecko in the middle. Marty Lyons moves from left to right. Gordon, Benson, Kevin MacArthur, and Bob Crable, the linebackers. Humphrey and Carl Howard, the corners. Rich Miano and Harry Hamilton, the 2 safety men. They've really had problems in the secondary. Backdoor was the move man. Gets quickly to Byers, and nothing doing on the left side. Only a gain of 1. Kevin MacArthur on the stop. Here is the Philadelphia offensive setup. Cunningham, the quarterback. Tony and Byers, the runners. Quick and Kenny Jackson, the wide receivers. The offensive line has Darwin, Adam Schreiber, Jerry Ferry, Bob Lanzi, Joe Conwell on the right side, and the tight end is John Spagnola. Jackson both split wide to the right on 2nd and 9. Byers split out to the left. Hit behind the line of scrimmage by Joe Klecko. He was the first man there. No gain.
Yeah, it's interesting. Joe Klecko, of course, is leading the league and jumping off sides. You know, he lines up there over the center, kind of gets cockeyed and stuff. And what he's doing, he's trying to work on his quickness. He wants to get in the backfield at the same time the ball is snapped. So therefore, early in the game, it seems like he always picks up some offsides or encroachments.
7 times in the last 2 games. Chris Carter in the lineup now for the Eagles, and Cunningham out of the shotgun goes for Carter. I don't think he ever saw the ball. Came straight over his head. Sean Dykes was the closest defender. He never picked it up.
Well, as you see, he's looking over his left shoulder, then he turns and looks over his middle, then he turns and looks over his right shoulder. So he tried to pick it up from the left side, tried to pick it up over the top, and then tried to find it from the right side. And he was 0 for 3 and see him.
John Telchik back to kick, and JoJo Townsell back deep for the Jets. Off the side of his foot. It has to be classified as a shank. Townsell comes up, feels it, gets out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. And the Eagles will take over from there. The Jets, I beg your pardon, will take over from there. 0-0. First quarter. 35 remaining. Giant Stadium, the Eagles and the Jets.
You can see when it rains, Pat, it causes problems for everyone. They're trying to keep their game plans dry over in the Jet sideline. So they have to keep it under the plastic, and every time they want to look, they have to dig through and pull that stuff out to see what they want to do.
Jets have Johnny Hector as the lone setback, and Rocky Cleaver, the backup tight end, goes in motion right. O'Brien. Incomplete, intended for Mickey Schuler, knocked down by Gary Cobb.
You know, one thing the Eagles do more than any other team in the NFL is that's change their defenses. Buddy Ryan was saying that they use 20 different coverages, 10 different fronts. That would be 10 different front alignments. And he says the bad news is we only play about 2 of them right.
Probably will get 2 of them correct, he said.
But I think in this game so far, they have been in a different defense alignment and coverage on every play.
Hector and Vick behind O'Brien. Hand off to Hector. Freeman McNeil, who normally would share time with Hector. Hector stopped by Jerome Brown, but McNeil is not even active for this game.
I think you see one of the problems here with the Jets. Their offensive line is not a strong line, and they really can't control the defense. They really don't get any movement. They don't open many holes. You see right there, see all those green jerseys on the line of scrimmage? The offensive line has to knock some of those guys the other way.
Basically, they're playing with 5 guards up front.
Basically, they're too small.
O'Brien back to throw. Scampers out of the pocket. Incomplete. Throws a grounder intended for Hector. The Jets particularly, John, I started to say a minute ago, in the first half, have really had problems. What's that scoring margin we were talking about before?
Well, in the 2 games combined, the Miami game and the New England game, they've lost the first half 62-6. And you can just see now in this first half that offensively, they have no confidence whatsoever.
So Jennings back and Bobby Morris deep for the Eagles. As Joe Walton said, we haven't been able to stay with our game plan because we've been so far behind so early.
It doesn't look very good at 0-0 either, though, does it?
It doesn't. Morse signals fair catch. Collision. I don't think he had a chance to catch it. Sean Dykes comes up with the ball. Let's see what happened, though.
I think his own guy is the guy that got in the way, though. Watch him here. He's coming up to receive it. Look, that's Totalatasi, I think, that bumps him. Not a Jet. So there's no penalty on that play.
Sean Dykes made the recovery. This is one they're going to look at again, I'm sure.
Yeah, but that has to be the Jet ball. You can't call interference on your own guy. That looks okay to me. A Jet, see, you have to give him an opportunity to catch the ball. And the guy that didn't give him that opportunity was his own guy.
Totalatasi. Gordon McCarter is the referee. They say it was the Eagles' ball.
He has to be wrong on that. You can't give it to him. I mean, Morse fumbles the ball. He's calling for a fair catch.
Was illegally touched by a member of the kicking team and then squirted out of bounds. It is the receiving team's football, 1st and 10.
I don't agree with that. To me, that's the Jets' ball. His own guy runs into him after a fair catch, and the Jets recovered. How the Eagles get it back, I have no idea.
Well, they have it, and the score is 0-0 with 11:35 left first quarter.
The reason here that the Eagles have the ball is the ball never touched an Eagle. See, they get there, Todd runs into Bobby Morse, but neither one of them touched the ball. Now, right here, the first one that touches it is a Jet, so then that makes it just a 21-yard punt to that point there, and it's the Eagles' ball. I thought it hit one of the Eagles originally.
I did too. Mike Quick is split out wide to the left. That's Spagnola on the move, and Cunningham gets it out to Kenny Jackson. They're not able to do much with it either. Pickup of only 3 yards. Gastineau and Alex Gordon out to make the stop.
It was an interesting play. It was a screen pass out here to Jackson, and what they do is they pulled the line out, tried to get them out here in front of them. And of course, the Jet defense played it well.
2nd and 7 with 11:08 left in the first quarter. Giant Stadium. Pat Summerall, John Madden, Randall Cunningham, the quarterback, Byers and Tony behind him. Tony got it back. Flecko was in the backfield just as the handoff took place. A loss of 3.
Neither one of these offenses today look like they practiced this week. Look at it. Here it is here. They get penetration. They were trying to run a trap, and it looks like they just came back, and Tony didn't really hit that hole very quickly. But Flecko got penetration, and that play looked like a bum play from the start.
Jackson comes wide right this time with Quick inside him in the slot. And they have Garrity and Carter on the other side. Cunningham. Maybe a first down. And yes, 10 or 11. Quick made the catch and Holmes made the stop.
You know, here's a real problem for the Jets. You see the Eagles come out here in 4 wide receivers. Now, when you don't have many defensive backs, that really puts you in a bind, because if you put a good guy here and a good guy here, you still have 2 more to cover. So that's the thing that they've been having trouble with. 1 is covering, but 2 is being able to cover off when they put 4 wide receivers, because then you need 4 corners.
First down at midfield for the Eagles. Cunningham has Garrity left and Quick right to stop. For Jackson. It's for Jackson. Jackson has it. Out of bounds at about the 3. Rich Miano on the coverage. A gain of 47. It'll be 1st and goal from there.
We watch Jackson. He's just coming off the line of scrimmage against the zone. Humphrey has to get a bump on him. When you play that double zone, the short guy has to bump him. When he does it, you let a guy like Jackson run through your secondary, and Miano can't get over to that side. Good pass protection here. Watch Joe Conwell here blocking against Mark Gastineau. Gets a double team there. Gives Cunningham time to find Jackson. You see that zone defense, if you don't bump guys, they're just going to eat you up.
1st and goal from the 3 then for the Eagles. This is Anthony Tony. Barrels for a touchdown. From 3 yards out, Kyle Clifton made the hit. A lot of empty seats at Giant Stadium today, but those who are here make things pretty vocal.
Well, they've seen the same things happen to him, you know, getting in trouble early, not having a pass rush on defense, or being able to cover. And those things will make some long days for you.
That sort of mounts up, doesn't it?
Well, I think all their problems came out on that one play.
McFadden to kick. Telchik is the holder. The point is perfect. And game with 9 minutes and 13 seconds left to play in the first quarter at Giant Stadium. The Philadelphia Eagles lead the Jets 7-0. The Eagles over the Jets. That's the story of the Philadelphia scoring drive. 5 plays, 61 yards. A big play, the pass from Cunningham to Jackson. And a touchdown run by Tony. Kickoff by Telchik. That is Tracy Martin. Had a little gap for a moment. It's after about the 24, stopped by Ty Allard again.
Ty Allard is one of the top cover men on this Eagle team. In fact, they got to say, and Ty goes to the runner. Just run him down there, through blockers, around guys, boom, fine ball carrier.
So far, they've kicked off twice, and he's made both tackles.
Yeah. Here comes old Ty. There goes old Ty. I got the runner.
Buddy Ryan's type of player. Tough and intelligent. Maybe. Johnny Hector goes in motion. Throws outside. Struggles for about 8 yards. Stopped by Byron Evans. Gain of 8.
Let's watch that play to Kenny Jackson again. Here's Jackson. Now the Jets are going to come up and run a double zone coverage here. This way and this way. But this guy here has to bump here. If you let him get free, then he's running the corner on your safety, Miano. Now watch what happens down here in the bottom of the screen. Jackson comes off. He doesn't get hit by Humphrey. Now he's running through their secondary. They could have thrown that corner to either side.
2nd down and 2. To Hector. Close to a first down after a gain of 3. I think he has it. Right now for an NFL update, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Well, Pat, the Bengals strike first on the Saints. Maybe this is the day they'll put it all together and hold on. The Esiason's pass deflected, caught by Eddie Brown for the score. Also, the Steelers have kicked a field goal. They lead Houston there 3-0. Back to Pat and John.
It's 7-0 here. Fumble on the exchange from center between O'Brien. And the Eagles say they have it, and it looks like they do. The Eagles recover. They'll take over at about the Jet 33. Mike Pitts made the recovery.
Hey, you know, you talk about confidence and how important confidence and those types of things are, and then you get to the point where you can't even get the snap. That's really hitting rock bottom, and I think that the Jets offensively are coming very close to the bottom right now.
Well, you dig that hole early, and no wonder you can't stick with your game plan. First down, Philadelphia. And the Jet 33. Outside quickly to Jackson. Gain of 5. Bobby Humphrey made the stop.
Well, you know, the Jets have had a lot of injuries in the secondary. They've lost Russell Carter this year, Jerry Holmes, Lester Lyles, Kerry Glenn. It seems like, you know, at that left corner spot, they've had 4 different guys start there. So every team that comes in here to play the Jets starts off throwing to their right, their offensive right, the Jets' left.
It's amazing how those things get around, isn't it?
All you have to do is watch it. Hey, there it is. Let's us try it.
Jimmy Giles in the game as a tight end. This is Tony straight ahead, and that'll be enough for another first down for Philadelphia. Gain of 6. Rich Miano made the stop.
Remember a couple of weeks ago we did the Eagles against the Giants, and Tony started at tailback and Michael Haddock started at fullback. Buddy Ryan says that Haddock was a better blocker, and that's why he did that, because of the Giants linebackers, Lawrence Taylor and Carl Banks. He said, I needed a big fullback in there that could block, and blocking has not been one of Keith Byers' strengths.
So he's changed things around today, and Tony is the fullback, and Byers is the runner. Batted away. Cunningham was looking at Byers. Bob Crable got a hand up and knocked it away.
Either Crable was coming on a blitz, or he was really faked out by that play pass, because he was right on the line of scrimmage and in a position to knock that down.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 22.
Watch it. He's right up there at the top of the picture. Now he started on a blitz, or started to come, and then he just stopped. So that was either the play fake got him, or he was coming on a blitz.
Tony is the lone setback behind Cunningham this time. Up the middle, intended for Jimmy Giles, but he was well covered by Benson and MacArthur.
You know, the Jets are starting Mark Gastineau today for the first time in a year and a half. They moved Marty Lyons from left end over to the right end. And, of course, they left Joe Klecko in the middle, but that isn't helping them today because they're still not getting a good pass rush. Or the Eagles' offensive line is doing a good job of pass protection. On that play, it didn't look like anyone got off the line of scrimmage.
That brings up a 3rd down and 10 at the 22-yard line of the Jets. Garrity is put wide to the left this time. Again, Cunningham comes out of the pocket, and he can really run. This time they managed to get him out of bounds. Alex Gordon knocks him out. No gain, and we'll have McFadden for a field goal.
Notice about Cunningham is he's really dangerous as a runner, but most of the time he's more dangerous when he runs to the left. That's when he usually throws. When he gets flushed out and runs right, he usually runs the ball. When he gets flushed out and goes left, that's when he really hits some big passes.
An interesting discussion. People have always said, it seems over the years, about how much more difficult it is to run to your left and throw. That's not necessarily what everybody believes. Here's McFadden from 38 yards out. And he's good. And the Eagles open it up to 10-0. 6:18 left to play in the first quarter at Giant Stadium, and the Eagles lead the Jets 10-0. Baker's club record, it was 38 yards. And the Eagles lead it 10-0, and that's the story of their scoring drive. 6 plays, if that's a drive, 12 yards. Kept it 1 minute and 37 seconds after they recovered the Jet fumble. John Telchik set to kick off for Philadelphia. Tracy Martin and JoJo Townsell back deep for the Jets. Short kick. Taken by Rocky Cleaver. And Cleaver, who is a wonderful athlete, is stopped by the kicker. Telchik, return of 24.
Well, you know, one thing, the Jets, because the area that they are strong in is a kickoff return with JoJo Townsell. So people have been kicking squib kicks, different types of kicks. So they have 2 tight ends in the wedge. They have Cleaver there just for that. Usually the wedge is made up of guard-type guys, blocking-type guys. But because they kick the ball around different ways to him, the Jets put tight ends back there.
Hector and Vick behind O'Brien. It's Hector. Picked up 3 on that last little spin, stopped by Reggie White.
One of the things that Johnny Hector does as well as anyone in this league is short yardage and goal line. You know, when he gets in that situation, he has that ability to find that soft spot in the defense or jump over it.
That's why he has so many touchdowns. Kurt Sohn was the man in motion. O'Brien gets it outside of Toon, who breaks 1 tackle, gets into Eagle territory, out of bounds at their 47, a gain of 10. Terry Hogue knocked him out of bounds.
There's Zeke Bratkowski, the old Green Bay quarterback. He was signaling in the plays to Ken O'Brien. You know, it's interesting, we were talking to Buddy Ryan last night. He said the 2 goals we have to do, or the 2 things we have to do defensively, 1 is rush the passer, and 2 is cover number 88. Just even talking these guys in names. Cover 88.
This is Roger Vick, right side. Picked up only a yard, stopped by Andre Waters. Nobody has done a very effective. There's Zeke Bratkowski, of whom John spoke a moment ago. Coaches the quarterbacks for the Jets. It'll make it 2nd and 9 after Vick got a yard. And the Jets out of the huddle in a hurry. Toon is wide left, number 88. Schuler in motion, the handoff inside to Hector. First down, Jets as he gets to the Eagle 35. Stopped by Gary Cobb.
You know, I've always said the thing that gives a quarterback more confidence than anything is a good running game. You know, the Jets this first quarter haven't been able to do anything offensively. So now this may be the type of thing that gets them started. They run a trap in there in the middle, good trap block, good man block, get that hole for Hector, and now they can get something going. You know, they're getting a little movement in there.
This is Roger Vick, the right side. Hit hard again by Gary Cobb, a pickup of 2. Right now for an NFL update. Well, let's don't do an NFL update. Let's cover the fracas.
There's an official right in the middle there.
Roydell Young is the Eagle involved. And now it's all over. Kurt Sohn in the wrestling match with Roynell. That started on the first play of the game.
And I think Gordon McCarter, the referee, was the second guy in there in the fight. He dove right in.
2nd and 8. Ball at the Eagle 33. The Eagles leading 10-0. O'Brien out of the shotgun this time, up into the pocket. Pass is caught by Schuler. 8 yards, close to a first down, stopped by Terry Hogue. Not quite enough.
You know, but it is something. Once you can get that, once you can get a couple of runs in there, now you can slow down that pass rush. You see, now you get them thinking run. Now you can get a little more time. As we see the way O'Brien ends up there, you don't get a lot more time because Gary Cobb was right on him as he threw it.
Close enough to measure, then they bring out the sticks.
Now, one of the things, of course, is Reggie White is the sack leader in the NFL. With 17, he needs 5 more to tie Mark Gastineau's season high of 22. And, of course, he said he might get those today. He's going after 5 today against the Jets. So far, he has nothing. He has an air ball, shooting zeros.
Reggie McElroy doesn't necessarily agree with the idea that he will get them all today, although Reggie White also plays over the center. And that's where he is right now. Sohn was the man in motion. Jerome Brown gets to O'Brien just as he has to throw it away. Now, as promised, for an NFL update, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York, in the studio.
Well, Pat, the Bengals are doing a job. No huddle and quick plays when they call them, and they've got 2 scores against the Saint defense already. This is Jennings catching this touchdown pass. Now another one of great interest involves Buffalo and New England. A severe wind the Bills are working against. Patriots lead at 7-0. Let's go back to Pat and John.
Eagles lead it at Giant Stadium, 10-0 over the New York Jets. O'Brien's 3 out of 8 for 27 yards, 2nd and 10. Roger Vick, flag on the play. Vick stopped by Evans, only got a yard, but this has got to be in that holding area.
There's a fired-up middle linebacker, Byron Evans. He's starting his 2nd game for the Eagles. Buddy Ryan says that he drafted him to be a middle linebacker.
Holding number 64, offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Call against Bingham.
Guy Bingham is the center. Right there in the middle of the screen, left of the screen. I don't know, it looks okay there. It looks like he's just getting pushed down by Mike Pitts, and he pulls Pitts down with him.
That's the first penalty of the game. We have 2:50 left to play in the first quarter. The Jets, the 2nd most penalized team in the league. Here's O'Brien. Somebody gets a hand on him. Pass incomplete. Byron Evans very nearly picked it off. Johnny Hector was the intended receiver.
And it was Reggie White who almost had his first sack. Watch him here on McElroy. Reggie against Reggie. He gets that arm in, arm under, arm up. O'Brien just steps away from it. And there's Byron Evans, a rookie middle linebacker we were just talking about, had that thing right in his hand. Look, he's checking the gloves. And these gloves are supposed to be tackified leather, they say. Why didn't that stick to the ball?
It's a word I never heard until today. Tackified.
Well, you know, they don't have stickum anymore, and that's why all these players wear gloves.
Here's O'Brien out of the spread formation. Pulls it down. Gets it to Dennis Fleigen, who came out of the backfield. Andre Waters on the stop, a pickup of 11, but it'll bring on the field goal team.
Well, after that penalty, the Jets were 3rd and 20. O'Brien was trying to go deep. He was trying to go to Kurt Sohn in the right end zone. Of course, the Eagles had good coverage. Roynell Young down there, so he had to come off to a short guy and then settle for the field goal.
Pat Leahy will try from 42 yards out. He's only missed 3 all year long, and one of those was 63 yards. He's had a great year. This from 42 yards out. Ryan, the holder. And Leahy is good again. That makes it 10-3, the Eagles over the Jets. Pat Summerall, John Madden, and we're at Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey on a rainy, foggy afternoon. Very good.
That's that new math they have where you just add and subtract and do stuff in your head. Or make stuff up.
1:51 left to play in the first quarter. The Eagles over the Jets 10-3 at the moment. Chris Carter and Bobby Morse go back deep for the Eagles. And Leahy, who just hit from 42 yards out, will kick off for the Jets. Just a few steps, lines it in the direction of Carter, and he picks it up at about the 3-yard line and has not much room to roam. And again, a shoving match breaks out. These two teams haven't met in regular season since 1978, but they have played each other in preseason games since then. So they're not that unfamiliar, but as Buddy Ryan says, we don't count those.
Well, you know, the other thing Buddy Ryan says, he learned from Weeb Eubank. Weeb always says if you ever play someone in the preseason, then playing during the regular season, lose to them in the preseason. The old Weeb Eubank trip.
That's another one of those things you can just figure out in your head. Here's Cunningham. Intended for Quick. He was open, and so was Jackson. But Gastineau put the pressure on Cunningham.
It looked like Cunningham had 3 guys out there that he was throwing to. He has 3 guys in a line. Here's Mark Gastineau against Joe Conwell. Conwell's getting a little help there from his guard, Lancey. Does a pretty good job of keeping Gastineau off until right after Cunningham throws it.
Second down. Byers and Coney behind Cunningham. Joe Conwell, the Eagles' right tackle, fired off the line of scrimmage. Unfortunately,
79 offense.
Too early.
There's sometimes you get so fired up. You've been looking at Mark Gastineau there, 99. You got to pass protect him. You get so fired up, you just want to get a good start. So boom, you just jump off before they even snap the ball.
That'll make it 2nd and 15. 1:36 left to play in the first quarter. Eagles 10, Jets 3. This time it's the Jets.
They give it right back to him. Yeah, I've never understood how the nose tackle
73 defense
can jump off sides when he lines up right on the ball. Look, he's looking right at that ball. You go when the ball is snapped. But Flacco is trying to hit that gap. You see that gap between the center and the guard? He's trying to hit it before that guard can get up. So he's thinking quickness so much that I think that's the reason he jumps off sides, because he's sure not watching movement.
Brings it back to 2nd and 10. That's fired. And he only got 3.
You know, Bud Carson is the defensive coordinator of the Jets, and he was the guy who started that alignment. Remember, he did that with the Pittsburgh Steelers,
right,
with Joe Green. He would start in there, put the guy in the gap, turn one way. And then the idea is that you can hit that gap and you can't be single blocked.
splits wide to the left. Cunningham intended for Jackson, who slipped down just as the ball was about to arrive.
You know, this field is real wet, and from the numbers to the sidelines is real slick today. I was watching the guys in the pregame warm-up, and there seemed to be a lot of falling down. And if you don't have the right shoes on this field, it's like being on an ice rink.
Yes, a big crown in the middle, and over on the sideline where that water settled. Here's Telschic's punt. Line drive, fielded on one hop by JoJo Townsell. Townsell down by Junior Tarlatasi. We're talking about the gloves and the fact that they don't allow stick-em anymore, but what about these gloves?
Well, they have right here in the front what's called tackified leather. And you can hear it there. See, so when the ball comes in, it just sticks. It's like stick-em, but it doesn't stay on the ball. And you can hear the tackiness in there. See, and this stuff here is the stick-em, but it doesn't come off on the ball. So when the ball comes in, it's just whap. Just grabs in here, and you can just hear that thing go. And that's what everyone is wearing now. That's what all the wide receivers, the defensive backs, we even see the linebackers wearing them now.
Right. And apparently they're very effective. Roger Vick was the intended receiver on a pass from O'Brien. Seth Joyner on the coverage.
Well, they're really good if you want stuff to stick to you. Now, I've seen Jim McMahon play quarterback with them, and I always wondered why he would do that, but he said he throws better spiral with a little of that tackified leather. Never heard that word before, tackified, huh?
I hadn't, no.
I don't even know if it's a word.
It is now.
Yeah, it's like combinations, tackified combinations.
Second and 10 from the 38. That's Schuler on the move. Hand off to Hector. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage and lost a yard. Clock running with 35 seconds, now less than that left in the first quarter. As the Eagles have proved difficult so far, at least, to run against. Dennis Blygen comes in. It's 3rd and 11. Roger Vick went out, and the Eagles make their nickel package substitutions. Tune is covered by Frizzell on the left. O'Brien in that direction, and Tune is open and away from everybody and out of bounds, and a first down knocked out by Terry Hogue. A gain of 20.
Tune came out of that wide open. The closest guy was William Frizzell to him initially. See, this is Frizzell on him, and Tune just runs right into him, maybe pushed off a little. That's why he's so wide open. But he had 4 or 5 yards on Frizzell after he made his break.
Got him going backwards, and then he pushed him, and then broke.
And Frizzell is one of the biggest corners in the league. You know, he's 6'3".
This time, Tune is split wide to the right, and Sohn is to the left. And O'Brien back in the pocket. Under pressure, there's Reggie White. That's his first sack of the day, but there's a penalty marker down. Gordon McCarter, the referee. This one they'll decline, I'm sure.
And that'll give Reggie White his 18th sack of the season. I'll tell you, that'll really be an amazing feat if he can break the sack record in the strike
Number
short
64
season.
Offense. Penalty declined. 2nd down. That is the end of the first quarter.
But I think everyone agrees that Reggie White is the best defensive lineman in the league.
That seems to be pretty much unanimous. 10-3. That's the end of the first quarter. The Eagles lead the Jets. Reggie White just picked up his first sack of the day. And they're the leaders, the single-season quarterback sack leaders, Gastineau and the Jets. With the Jets in 1984, Lawrence Taylor last year, Gastineau again in 1983, Tippett, Manley, and now Reggie White. He had 18 last year, has 18 this year, but remember, as John Madden said, fewer games, some accomplishment. O'Brien on 3rd down. Pass complete to Al Tune. Covered by William Frizzell. Frizzell with good coverage, but a pickup of 11. Not enough for the first down. Fourth and 5 at the 38, and Jennings comes on. Bobby Morris goes back deep for Philadelphia. Jennings, who of course spent so many years punting here with the Giants. Short snap as they go with a fake kick. New Faola got the first down. On the fake kick, it's first down. Jets a pickup of 19.
I think the Jets are at that point where, as I said, they're getting close to rock bottom, so you're going to try anything. But they just snap it to the short guy, the fullback, Faola, and then they pull two guards, just pull around. The Eagles are looking for a punt. I'm surprised that the Eagles just didn't leave their defense in there in that situation, because they had a punt return in there. Boom, they hit it and get the first down.
At the 20. O'Brien back to throw. Gets it outside to Hector, and Hector gets out of bounds at about the 5. It'll be first and goal from there. Seth Joyner knocked him out. A gain of 15.
You know, sometimes a coach has to do that, and I give credit to Joe Walton for making that call. Sometimes you're kind of sleepwalking. You have your doldrums. Nothing's going for you, and your team has to make something happen. If they don't, you have to help them make something happen. And I think that play was one of those kinds of plays that helped them make something happen.
First and goal from the 5. O'Brien sends Toon out wide to the left. Sohn to the right. He again goes to the spread formation. Overthrown, intended for Sohn. And out of the end zone, Roynell Young was right with Kurt Sohn.
But I think part of that, I think when you go for the fake punt and you get the first down and you get down inside and you're on the 5-yard line, I think if you're going to get that lift from it, you have to get it in the end zone for a touchdown, not have to settle for a field goal. I think if the Eagles can hold them off here to a field goal, that'll be a lift for the Eagles. If the Jets can score 7 points, it'll be a lift for them.
So it's second and goal from the 5. O'Brien gives this time to Vick, who's tripped up in the backfield by Reggie White. A loss of 3. If he's not the best, he's close.
Well, and that's one of the reasons. You know, there's a lot of guys who will lead a league in sacks, but they don't play the run well. And you see this guy not only sacks quarterbacks, but he plays the run well. Dan Alexander, the right guard, was pulling, and Reggie White just got right in his back pocket and followed him through there and got that play for a loss.
So it's third and goal from the 9. White, by the way, is 6'5" and 290 and quick.
And he runs a 4.5 40.
Here's O'Brien. Touchdown pass to Kurt Sohn from 9 yards out.
That is what the Jets needed.
Sohn might have gotten away with a little shove here and there.
Down here, once you get down here, Sohn is the outside man, 87. He goes outside, then he just comes underneath. He just runs right by 2 Eagle defenders. Andre Waters, the 2 safeties, Andre Waters and Terry Holmes.
Nothing illegal about that. Leahy's extra point is good, and we have a tie. 11:49 left to play in the first half at Giant Stadium, and it's the Eagles 10 and the New York Jets 10. Madden at Giant Stadium, where the Eagles and the Jets are tied at 10 apiece. 11:49 left to play in the first half. Pat Leahy set to kick off. Chris Carter and Bobby Morris back deep for Philadelphia. Leahy, of course, is number 5. Going to be Morris at the 6. Billy Griggs is number 81 for the Jets, and he made the stop. 14-yard return. Let's try to get them separated again. And things appear to be almost settled, at least.
Let's watch that touchdown again. Here's Kurt Sohn. He's going to come across here in motion, and then they have a receiver here, and then the Eagles end up 4 on 2, and no one even covers the halfback. But watch this, Sohn will come all the way across. Now the Eagles are going to have 4 on 2. Sohn just runs right through 2 for the touchdown. Look at the halfback out in the flat, wide open.
Cunningham back to Byers. Byers around the corner. Flash on the play. Byers got 4 yards out of bounds, but a penalty marker on the play. Stopped by Harry Hamilton.
Penalty marker on the play.
Carter will let us know.
Illegal block from behind. Number 81 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
Ball against Kenny Jackson.
Kenny Jackson is the guy who got the touchdown for him on that corner pattern. And you really want your ends to block, but that's a tough thing. You know, block it out in the open field. See 81 there, that's Kenny Jackson. And it's a lot like blocking on a punt return or kickoff return. Is you're moving and he's moving, and a lot of times you get hitting him in the back.
Screen pass on 1st and 20, and another flag down as Tony is knocked out of bounds at about the 20-yard line by Bob Crable. But a flag down early. Tony got 10. Against the Eagles again.
Take that penalty and put him back, and then really try and put the pressure on him. And then if you can hold him to 3rd down, then go for a punt block and turn this game around.
Right
Holding.
now.
Number 67 offense. Half the distance penalty. Still first down.
Jerry Ferry. The offensive center, number 67, called for holding. That'll bring up 1st and 25. The ball all the way back to the 6 now.
The Jets aren't a big blitzing team, but I think now is the time when you get them backed up like this, I think you do blitz or should blitz or press them.
Well, they're showing that right now. Cunningham gives back to Tony, and Tony gets very little. Picked up 2 right straight up the middle.
See, that's a good thing about blitzing or pressing is that you're going to hit every gap. So if they run, you got a defensive guy penetrating every gap that they're going to try and run into.
2nd and 22 at the 9.
2nd down then and 22. Back at the 9. Seattle has gone ahead of the Bears, 7-0. Byers, the lone setback as Cunningham comes out of the pocket. Chased by Klecko. Intended for Quick. Quick almost came up with a spectacular catch as Carl Howard was back there with him.
That's one thing about Randall Cunningham. He has a very strong arm, and you say, you know, about running left and not being able to throw. His arm is like a whip, and he can get out there going out to the right or the left, and I've seen him run out there like that and just with a flick of the wrist throw the ball 60 yards.
Greg Garrity into the lineup. Mark Gastineau getting his first start in a year and a half, as John Madden said earlier, hoping to put some pressure on Randall Cunningham. Again, the Jets jump, and there's a flag on the play. Cunningham goes through with things. Garrity, the intended receiver, incomplete. Bobby Humphrey right with him.
Hey, that's the dumbest thing the Jets could do there is you got them backed up, you got things going your way, and then you give them 5 yards and a free play. I think it was Joe Klecko who jumped off sides again. The amazing thing is they didn't keep rushing. They let Cunningham just stand back there and throw that ball. If it's complete,
Offside,
they don't have to take it.
Number 73 on the defense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Now watch Joe Klecko, he's right here. I can see jumping off sides, I really can. But if you're going to jump off sides and the play's going, at least go get him. Go rush him. Go do something. Don't let him have that free play.
They got it. 3rd and 17. That's 9 times in 3 games Klecko's been offside. Cunningham brings it down. Fumble. The Eagles fall on it. I think it was Joe Conwell who made the recovery.
The guy that made the hit and a heck of an effort was rookie linebacker Alex Gordon. That's where Cunningham is a dangerous throwing when he's flushed out and running to his left. Here we see the pass protection here. Cunningham is going to come out here to his left. Now watch 55. Here he comes, Gordon. He's the guy that chases him down, catches him from behind.
It was Darwin who made the recovery. Selchuk gets off another poor punt. Bounces in front of JoJo Townsell and gets a little bit of an Eagle bounce. But the Jets will take over in pretty good shape. A 36-yard punt. 10-10 the score with 9:44 left to play in the first half. The Eagles broke on top early, and the Jets have come back to tie it. 9:44 left first half. Summerall, John Madden at Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. 10-10 between the Eagles and the Jets. The Jets must win to keep alive any playoff hopes. The Eagles, of course, 5-8 and out of the playoff picture, but looking forward to a promising future. In the words of Buddy Ryan, here's Roger Vick. Left side, not much. Byron Evans led the Eagles tacklers. He got 3.
You know who I think is going to be a pretty good player for these Eagles is Jerome Brown. You know, he really plays the run well. A defensive tackle, he was the Eagles' #1 draft choice. Real strong, but he has a bad elbow. In fact, he has some chips and stuff in there, and he's going to have an off-season operation. But I think after that operation and a training camp, next year he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
2nd down. Pitches back to Hector, and he throws it back to O'Brien. And O'Brien gets it out to Toon, and Toon gets both feet down, and it's a pass completion. Roynell Young was the nearest Eagle. 17-yard gain. That one looked almost like it never was going to work, but it did.
Well, it's not a bad play. They start out here to Hector here. Now, after he pitches to Hector, then O'Brien comes back here, pitches back to him, and then he throws to Toon. Watch the play here. They try and make it look like run left, run, stop, throw back. Now O'Brien catches it, and then he looks up, and look what he finds. A lot of work for that play, though.
Yeah. Toon has caught 5 passes already for 68 yards. O'Brien gives again to Roger Vick, and there's some room there. Down to the 20, tripped up by Byron Evans after a gain of 8.
The one thing that he did, watch this, there's going to be a little delay. The Eagles are going to penetrate. Now watch the penetration right there. There's White in there, the outside linebacker, but look at the big gap that it causes. And then, of course, Vick is able to get through that gap or hole until Byron Evans gets there.
2nd and 2 at the 20. Here's O'Brien back to throw. Looking for Toon, who had it, dropped it, lost it, and a flag on the play. That's going to be a shot to the head, I'm sure. Giselle and Hogue were the 2 Eagle pass defenders.
I know Buddy Ryan saying, what is that? That's what I teach him.
Number 33 on the defense. 1st down, goal to go.
So it wasn't Hogue. Hogue was the guy that hits him. 33 is Frizzell, the cover guy, the guy coming from behind, saying that he hit him before the ball got there. He didn't say anything about Hogue. It had to be that left arm wrapped around the back of Toon.
So it's 1st and goal at the 5. O'Brien gets it, and he's got a Jet touchdown. Roger Vick over the left side. And the Jets take the lead.
Vick hit that same hole on the same type of play. The outside linebacker, the Eagles, Seth Joyner, got the penetration. They shut off the inside, and it was a big hole for Roger Vick.
And that's his first NFL touchdown. Number 43, Roger Vick.
Now, they expect a lot more from him. He was their #1 draft choice.
Leahy for the extra point with Ryan Holding. And the Jets take the lead for the first time. Leahy trying to make it 17-10, and he does. 8:08 left to play in the first half, and the Jets lead the Eagles now 17-10. I'm with the NBA on CBS. The Detroit Pistons travel to Madison Square Garden to take on the Knicks. Then at 2:30 Eastern Time, the Big Eight's Player of the Year, Thurman Thomas, will lead Oklahoma State against the Mountaineers of West Virginia in the John Hancock Sun Bowl. Promises to be a Merry Christmas. At least we hope it is. And we know it'll be right here on CBS Sports. Leahy's kick is deep and long. Taken by Bobby Morris. To about the 24, where you spun around and cut down. And again, there's an engagement. Way away from the ball. And they all celebrate.
Well, old Ty was in there. They usually get that guy that's the best cover guy, and they have a couple of guys on him. And then the play's over, and they just keep blocking him. That's what happens here. The play's over, and guys just keep playing. They're not going to get that guy. He's not going to be the first guy down there. He hit him so hard he knocked one of his socks down. I'll tell you, you talk about life being tough in the trenches. Life is tough on those special teams.
That looked like the Hook'em Horns.
And they just keep going after them. They don't care how long you're playing.
Here's Cunningham back to throw. It gets it out to Byers, who's hit by Troy Vincent. Balls come loose. But the Eagles got it back.
Let's watch that touchdown again, Pat, and we'll see how it happens here. Here's Seth Joyner. They're going to let him go. They drive off here. That gets one hole. Joyner comes here. Dan Alexander, the right guard, pulls, kicks him out. And then this hole has created a big gap here. But watch it on the left. The guy up on top comes. Watch that. Boom. Kick out right there. And a big hole for the fullback.
Come back to 2nd and 3. Tony is hit by Crable in the backfield. And again, the ball is loose. Tried to throw it back to Cunningham. Unsuccessfully.
That's one thing you tell your backs, never do that. Watch Crable. He's the outside guy. He's just missed. He's missed by Byers. And then Tony tries to give the ball to Cunningham. You teach your backs, you never do that.
A loss of 5. That'll be emphasized.
There have been a lot of quarterbacks that wouldn't accept it in the past.
Don't give it back to me.
Sure, there have been running backs over the years that have lost their jobs giving it back to the quarterback.
And receivers.
The play is an incomplete forward pass, 3rd down, previous spot.
Crable is number 15, the outside guy. I'll tell you, the whistle should have blown right there. And I think Tony started to lateral. Then he realized who he was lateraling it to. When he saw it was Cunningham, he tried to pull it back, and the tackified leather didn't tack.
They call it an incomplete forward pass. 3rd and 3. I don't know how. That's Garrity from Cunningham, and he's got the Eagles first down at the 40. Hamilton made the stop. Again, for an NFL update, let's send you back to New York. And here's Brent Musburger.
Pat, it was a struggle for the Vikings, but they finally punched one in. The Lions gamble on defense and come up snake eyes on the blitz. Dozier for the touchdown. Now, the big shocker. The Bengals 24, the Saints 3. Back to Pat and John.
17-10. The Jets lead the Eagles. Another fumble. And I think Joe Klecko came up with the ball. Cunningham lost the handle.
Well, that's why you stay with it, Joe Klecko. You see him in there in the middle. He's playing off the center. You see, that's why he stays like that, because the center can't block him to the side he's going to. He's working his way down the line of scrimmage. Whap, there's the ball in the ground.
So the Jets will take over at the Eagle 37.5-yard line. They already lead 17-10. They were behind 10-0 early. Johnny Hector is the lone setback. Sohn was the man in motion. This is Hector. Hector gets to the Eagle 34. Pickup of 3. Stopped by Reggie White.
Hey, one thing about this game, the first quarter was the Eagles game, and the Jets just couldn't do anything. Now the second quarter, the Eagles can't do anything, and the Jets are doing everything. Joe Walton has things going so well, he can keep his game plan under plastic. Keep it in the bag.
What?
Keep that plan in the sack.
He hasn't been able to use it. Fumbled by O'Brien. And the Eagles get it back. Gary Cobb came over with the football. O'Brien tripped coming away from the center, and when he hit the ground, the ball came loose, and the Eagles get it right back.
These quarterbacks are something, and they're having trouble just getting the handle. That's the second one for O'Brien. What he did is he tripped over his left guard on that play. Tripped over Joe Fields coming out of there. It looked like his left foot got caught. Then when he hit the ground, the ball popped out.
5:46 left to play in the first half, and the Jets up by 7 at the moment. Mize' miracle shot to win the Masters. All that coming up here on CBS. First down for the Eagles and Randall Cunningham. Gets the ball out to John Spagnola, and a gain of 7. Clock running with just over 5.5 minutes left to play in the first half.
You know, Chicago has to win if they want the second home field, because if the Bears lose and the Redskins win, then the Bears won't have the home field. They would be third in line after the 49ers, of course, if they win, and the Redskins if they win. If anyone understands all this stuff.
I was just about to say, boy, it's so complicated. This is Anthony Toney. Toney will have a first down. A good, tough run for a gain of 6, stopped by Harry Hamilton.
Well, what's happened is the Bears have clinched the playoffs, but they haven't done anything for a home field advantage. Hey, there's some hitting out there. Guys are knocking their shoes off, knocking their socks down.
That's how tough a run that was.
I know it. That's a collision. Remember Harry Hamilton a year ago when he hit the turf here and split his head wide open?
First down, Eagles. The ball at the Jet 48. Spagnola on the move, and they get straight ahead to Toney again. Right side for a couple. Hit first by Benson and then by Kevin McArthur. Tell you, we talked to John about Joe Klecko and the fact that he's been off sides 9 times in the last 3 games. And that cockeyed stance, but he has made what everyone says is a miraculous recovery from a knee that almost everyone said was beyond repair.
You know, and over the years, I mean, Joe Klecko has been one of the best nose tackles. Probably never play this game.
Here's Cunningham. Deep for Quick. Quick has some steps, and he has an Eagle touchdown. Carl Howard was the defender, but Quick was 5 yards behind him.
It's just a matter of time. You know, that's one thing that the Jets have really had trouble with all year, not only injuries. Here you see Carl Howard. He starts back, and then he just gets turned, and Mike Quick just runs right by him. That's always been a problem for Carl Howard. He's only a 4'8", 40 guy. Good pass protection here. You see, they stop Klecko. They double-team Klecko. They don't let anyone get in Cunningham's face so he can step up and throw the ball.
McFadden to tie it, and he does. Kelchek holding. The Eagles took 4 plays, went 61 yards. Touchdown pass was 45 yards from Cunningham to Quick. And we have a tie score, 17-17, with 3:35 left to play in the first half. All-time reception leaders for the Eagles, of course, Harold Carmichael would be first. The Baron, Pete Retzlaff second, Pete Pihos third, and then Quick and Bobby Walston, the late Bobby Walston.
Let's watch that on a chalkboard. Here's Mike Quick. Here's Howard. Howard really respects that speed. He's going to start back. Quick catches up with him. Howard says it stops for some reason and then turns and goes, and Quick just goes right by him. You see, Howard is off him now. Look at the cushion he's given. But Quick just shortens it, then catches up, then turns him, then runs by him. That's a 3-step thing. Catch up, hold him, run by him, and splash.
When he got him turned inside, he had him.
I think when he got even with him, he had him. But that shouldn't happen to a cornerback. I mean, he shouldn't get turned on that thing. And, of course, he shouldn't get run by like that. It's easy for us to say.
Taken by Tracy Martin. Martin outside the 20 and tripped up and a flag on the play. 25-yard return stopped by Dave Little. Against the return team, as usual. Illegal block, illegal use of the hands. Gordon McCarter will identify the culprit.
Illegal block in the back, number 39 receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So it'll be a first down, Jets at their own 14-yard line.
I'll tell you, it's on Ty Ellard again. I mean, the guy blocking Ellard. You know, like I said earlier, anytime the guy's the first guy down, he's going to draw some fights, and he'll also draw some penalties.
Here's O'Brien rolling left. Pass almost picked up by Frizzell, intended for Toon.
Remember when O'Brien came out, that was the year of the quarterback. That year, the first quarterback chosen was John Elway, and the last quarterback chosen in the first round was Dan Marino. So the Jets, of course, you know, will always be haunted about that one. It'll always be talked about. You took O'Brien from Cal Davis when you could have taken Marino. But you could say that, you know, about 26 other teams.
And O'Brien has got some pretty impressive numbers. That's Roger Vick trying to go right. Stopped by Reggie White and Andre Waters. Here is that famous 83 draft of quarterbacks. Elway, Blackledge, Kelly, Eason, O'Brien, and Marino.
You wonder if the same guys were there now and the teams had to take them, what order they'd be. I guarantee you it wouldn't be that order.
No.
I think Marino would be up there 1-2. But the interesting thing, all those guys went to the AFC, and that year the AFC East all got one of them.
Here's O'Brien again. Toon was open, a flag on the play back at the line of scrimmage. The Eagles indicating that it's going to be against the Jets.
That's Jerome Brown out there doing the indicating. He's probably the guy that they held. Jerome looks like that jersey's getting a little tight on there. It's pulling those nines
number
apart.
53 offense. Penalty.
Either that or the pants are too low.
Well, the thighs are starting to grow together too. That used to be my thing. I used to always look, and when you couldn't see daylight between the thighs, I'd tell them, okay, no Toledo's here. Let's start getting some of that weight off. You'll see some daylight in there.
Jennings standing about 3 yards deep in the end zone. Bobby Morse off the side of Jennings' foot, but he gets a good bounce, and the Jets are down in a hurry. It didn't look like much when Jennings kicked it, but it turned out to be pretty successful. Faola is face down. He seems to be okay. More information on those quarterbacks. Look at Marino.
Well, of course, Marino, you know, the percentage, O'Brien has had a great percentage. The biggest thing there to me, though, is the touchdowns. Look in the right-hand column. Marino has thrown 164 touchdowns. That's over twice as many as any of those other quarterbacks taken in the same draft.
That's amazing.
You look at the second one up there, Blackledge, and you wonder if Kansas City might not like to have 1983 draft over again. Look at that, 27.
Look at Jim Kelly in 2 years.
Well, I think that Kelly, if I had to rate him, I think I'd put Elway, Marino, and Kelly. I think those would be the top three. And, you know, Kelly's a big, strong guy.
Oh, yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if you do it again in 4 or 5 years that maybe Kelly would be the guy.
Here's Faola, number 38. Number 30, I beg your pardon. Well, the ground can't cause a fumble, but it can cause an injury.
Hey, with these artificial turf fields, you know, you can just see when the guys hit. That's like hitting a carpet over a parking lot. I mean, that stuff is hard as a rock, and when they hit, you just see them bounce.
Looking at some of the other scores, the Vikings, of course, hoping for a wild card spot. Bears have tied Seattle now on a touchdown pass from Tom Zach to Moorhead. Houston 10-6 over Pittsburgh. Saints have come back a bit. New England beating Buffalo. They too, both of those, in fact, still alive in the AFC Eastern Division race. Everybody is. First down, Philadelphia. 17-17 score with 2:22 left in the first half. Tony is the lone setback. Cunningham. Giles had it and had it knocked away by Crable. Flag on the play. Going to be against the Eagles, and again, illegal use of the hands.
Illegal use of hands, number 79 offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Conwell.
Joe Conwell, he's out here blocking on Mark Gastineau. See, he starts off pretty well, and then when Gastineau starts to get outside him to go around the corner, he grabbed him with his right hand. Gastineau ran up and told the referee about it, too. Did you see
Immediately.
That's tough. That's tough to have him block it in when he's out that wide and you don't have a tight end on your side. Like being on an island for a tackle.
First and 20. Cunningham under pressure this time from Marty Lyons from the other side.
Watch what they do to Gastineau this time. They put the tight end. Spagnola comes out and cuts him first, knocks him down. Then Conwell, the right tackle, comes over and gets him. So, you know, Gastineau might not be the player that he used to be, but I'll tell you, he'll still draw a couple of blockers now and then. That's the type of thing that Buddy Ryan is thinking about, you know. Okay, he gets close, I'll get him. Tight end, boom, you cut him. Tackle, whap, you come over the top on him.
Gastineau has lost about, what, 35, 40 pounds since a couple of years ago? Cunningham is 8 out of 15. Going deep for Quick. Interference is going to be called. I'm sure the flag is down. The pass picked off by Bobby Humphrey. The interception, but a flag on the play.
And then there's another flag
one.
right down on the hit. So it looks, as you say, there's going to be an interference penalty, and then there's going to be another penalty right there. I don't think the Jets are going to get the ball in either case.
Humphrey came up with the interception, intended for Quick. The flag went down early.
And the guy over there in the middle of it was number 39, Harry Hamilton. Watch Humphrey. You see Quick is just running by him. And now watch Hamilton come into the picture. Nope, I don't know. I think Humphrey reached his hand in there. Now that looked legal to me. He reached his hand in there and came up with the interception. Then as they run it back, there's going to be another flag thrown right here at the end of the play on the sideline. That could have been for a late hit out of bounds against the Eagles, but I don't think that first one was interference.
In any case, they're reviewing.
I thought that was a heck of a play by Humphrey.
I'm not so sure it was a late hit.
Pass
either.
interference, number 48, defense. Personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 81, the original passing team. The penalty's offset, replay the down.
So that is Mike Quick, so the Eagles will get the ball back. So what they're saying is that there was interference there by Humphrey, then he comes up with the interception. Now Quick, the guy who was going to catch the ball, he's going to be called for a late hit. And I would have just let this play. Oh, it was Jackson for the late hit, 81.
And Matt Darwin. I don't know who they called it against. They did not review it. It's 2nd and 20. The penalty's offset, and they go back to the 36-yard line. Tony, the lone setback. Cunningham out of the pocket. Down by Alex Gordon.
I think they're calling too many pass interference penalties now. Alex Gordon is a linebacker who on passing downs plays as a defensive end. You know, we're seeing that more and more in the league. You know, the Giants are doing that with Lawrence
2-minute
Taylor.
warning, referee's timeout.
New England does it with Tippett. 17-17. 2-minute warning, 1:54 left in the first half. I am Brendan Irv, are joined by Giants linebacker Harry Carson. They'll take a look at scores and highlights. And also Hale Murray, one of the greatest moments in Dallas Cowboy history. 3rd and 24. Ball's at the 32. Eagles out of the spread. Cunningham out of the pocket. Flag on the play already. Cunningham with running room. Gets into Jet territory, fumbles the ball after a gain of 21. And let's see.
No foreign objects. We're going to have a lot of stuff on this. A drop back, a flush out, a run, a fumble, and a penalty. Oh, what Joe Walton's upset about is that they let Cunningham get outside. You know what he's saying? You got to contain the quarterback.
I know when you were talking to Joe yesterday. Here we go.
Illegal use of the hands, number 47, defense. Hands to the face. 5 yards from the dead ball spot, 1st and 10.
That's Jerry Holmes, who had broken ribs. You can see that pad on him, who was just activated for today's game. Who's their regular starting quarterback. You see now he can hit legally in that first 5 yards. But what he does is he hits Kenny Jackson in the face.
So it's a 1st down Eagles. They move the ball into Jet territory. 1st and 10 at the Jet 42. Cunningham again operating out of the spread. The Eagles have all of their timeouts left. The shuttle pass goes forward to Junior Todd-Latasi. That one was totally out of sync from the beginning. Stopped by Gastineau.
Well, they had their secondary up. Carl Howard was up there too in the backfield, and you could just see that one coming. What they were doing is Cunningham was trying to run beyond it, and then you throw it in front. to your back coming in an inside handoff, or an inside pitch.
And
the one thing, no, I was just going to say, the one thing you can't have is penetration on that play.
Eagles use one of their timeouts, so they have 2 left. 17-17 tie at Giant Stadium. 1:18 left to play in the first half. Cunningham, and when you asked, I started to say a minute ago, when you asked Joe Walton yesterday if he intended to do that, he said no.
He said, we have trouble enough covering all the rest of the guys.
Cunningham out to Tony. Tony hammers down and gets out of bounds. Close to a first down, 11-yard pickup, knocked out of bounds by Holmes. Stops the clock with 1 minute and 8 seconds left to play.
Did you see that throw by Cunningham? It looked like he was a set shot. He went out there, or a shot put or something. He was out there. He started to run. Watch him. He's going to come out here. He's going to get flushed out to the right. Here's Gastineau coming. He'll go out here beyond him. Now watch the way he throws. Just boom, just puts it out there.
A yard shy of a first down. It's 3rd and 1. Clock stopped with 1 minute and 8 seconds left to play in the first half. Cunningham back to throw. The Jets in a blitz. Caught by Tatalotasi, and that will be enough for an Eagle first down. Crable on the stop. Pickup of 4. And the Eagles take another timeout. They have 1 remaining.
Cunningham took the mustard off of that one. You know, that's what he's learning to do now, is not throw with the same velocity. And he saw Tatalotasi there, and he just kind of looped that one in there.
Halftime, Cincinnati still leads New Orleans. New England over Buffalo 13-0. Cunningham has made his visit over to the sideline.
Watch Cunningham in the touch here. You see, he sees Tatalotasi now. Instead of drilling it there, he just kind of bloops it out there. Because that was one of the raps that they had against Cunningham. He said that he threw his short ones too hard.
Exactly a minute left to play in the first half. Eagles operating from the Jets' 30-yard line. Cunningham straight ahead, pulls it down. Cunningham stays on his feet, struggles, and does get out of bounds. Knocked out and taken out by Nichols. With 50 seconds left to play, he picked up 7.
Yeah, that's where Cunningham is so dangerous. He can drop back and throw the ball, or he can run right or left and run it, or run and throw it. Now, to me, this is where he's the most dangerous, when he has the ball in the open field and he puts it up. Now, if you come up, he can still throw it. If you lay back, he can still make enough yardage to pick up first downs and be the leading rusher on their team.
Today, he has 4 carries for 29 yards, 2nd and 3. He operates again from the shotgun formation. Up the middle to Quick. Inside the Jet 15 to about the 13. Carl Howard made the stop.
Did you ever notice after a guy beat someone deep, like Quick caught that up for a touchdown, how the defense starts getting softer and softer and given a bigger and bigger cushion?
The Eagles have just used their last timeout in the first half. Score tied at 17. We have 42 seconds left to play in the first half. Mike Quick, who earlier caught a 45-yard touchdown pass from Cunningham.
The thing is, once they've used that timeout, now they have first down, and what they have to do is, if they complete a pass, then they can get up and just throw the ball down and stop the clock, really, or just throw the ball into the end zone or towards the sidelines. But having a first down means that they can waste a play to stop a clock.
Jackson and Garrity split wide to the right and Quick to the left. There's Cunningham going deep for Quick. Touchdown. His 2nd of the day. What a great throw by Cunningham. Humphrey and Hamilton were the 2 Jet defenders, but Quick gets his 2nd of the day from 13 yards out by Randall Cunningham.
Yeah, that's the thing that the Jets know they're going to do. When you get down here, you know they're going to throw it. You know they're going to throw it in the end zone. You know their big receiver is Mike Quick. You put 2 guys on him, but your two guys aren't good enough to do anything about it.
Especially when the quarterback throws a strike like that.
You know, that's the frustrating thing, when you know and you have two guys there and they still beat you.
McFadden for the extra point, and it's good. And the Eagles lead 24-17.
I'll tell you what they do here is you'll see the double coverage, but Quick is just coming right up here. And as you say, Cunningham comes back here and just makes a great throw in there. The Eagles have two guys on him. The Jets have two guys on him, but they can't do anything. Watch, they have double coverage. The first thing, that first guy should bump him. He should hit him. When he doesn't hit him, then he just lets Quick run by him, and then neither one of them are good enough to cover him.
9 plays. They went 54 yards in a minute and 45 seconds. Now, Mike Quick, in all-time receiving yards, moves up the Eagle ladder in front of Tommy McDonald and just behind Pete Pihos. 13-yard touchdown pass from Cunningham to Quick. Quick's second score of the day. 4 receptions for 78 yards. He certainly is among the best.
You know what Joe Walton's thinking? He's thinking, what do we have to do? We have the guy double covered. We know that they're going to do it. The only thing I would recommend is that first guy hit Quick in the first 5 yards.
Squib kick is picked up by Dave Little. And Cleaver winds up with the ball and is knocked out of bounds by John Telchik. 29-yard return by Cleaver.
Look at this. It looks like a water slide here at the end. Cleaver gets it. Look at that puddle he causes. Hey, that does look like fun. That looks like something to do with Christmas. You know, like Santa Claus would come sliding in like that with his reindeer or something. A bunch of presents.
That looked like fun?
Yeah, that did look like. I'd love to do that. Just hit and slide and go like that? Yeah.
Here's O'Brien. Complete. Kurt Sohn was the intended receiver. Stops the clock with 25 seconds remaining first half.
You know, this field, they're going to put in a new turf here next year in this field. This was one of the best artificial turfs in the league, and now it's just gotten a little old. And you see the problem there is you see how slick it gets there in the sides because of the crown, as you mentioned. And I'll tell you, that is tough footing out there now. So they're going to have a new field next year.
Here's O'Brien back to throw. Gets it out to Johnny Hector, who makes a one-hand grab and gets out of bounds with 18 seconds left and a flag on the play.
I'll tell you, it looked like O'Brien got up slowly after that play, that maybe there was a late hit on him. There is a guy who comes out of a game a battered man. I mean, he gets hit and knocked
Personal
around.
foul, roughing the passer. 96 on the defense. Unnecessary late hit.
That's Clyde Simmons. Here's why he comes out of the game a battered man.
Well, Clyde Simmons is coming from the left of the screen. You see him, watch, the ball is gone. O'Brien has thrown the ball, and then Simmons hits him in the back and takes him down after he throws it.
Moves the Jets down to the Eagle 23. Lydgen and Hector in the backfield with O'Brien, and he has to scramble and throw it away. Throws it out of the end zone. JoJo Townsell, I think, was the intended receiver.
This has been one half, and you see what has happened to Ken O'Brien. He's been sacked once. He's been hurried 10 times, where he's had to throw the ball before he wanted to. He's been knocked down after he threw it 4 times. He's had 2 fumbles, and the good news is he hasn't had any interceptions, but that's just one half.
I wonder if he's had fun.
He didn't get in any of those slides yet. That's the only fun thing. That's winning.
On second down, O'Brien hitting the Tune, and Tune is hit at the 13. Terry Holden was the first man there, but a gain of 11. 5 seconds remaining. O'Brien walks to the sideline. Jets take a timeout and send the field goal unit on the field.
I tell you, that was a heck of a drive there that the Jets just did after the Eagles scored.
Pat Leahy has made 35 consecutive field goals inside the 40-yard line. He's only missed 3 times all year, and all of them were over 40 yards. It's a nice little security blanket, isn't it? He'll go from 29 yards here. And he's good again. It's 24-20. The Eagles lead the Jets now with 2 seconds left to play in the first half. A rainy afternoon in the Meadowlands. Andre Waters limping.
Andre Waters is one of the pluses of that Eagles secondary. When Buddy Ryan talks about his secondary, he's really disappointed with his corners, and he thinks his safeties have done pretty well. In fact, if anyone had like a load of defensive backs, corners, they could just bring them and dump them here today and give each team about half of them.
There's a lot of places they could dump them, I think, around the league. If you had a load of cornerbacks.
I know, you just don't seem to have corners anymore. You see it in the bottom of the screen, you can see Waters there. He's coming, he's trying to dive in for the ball. I think he just tripped over McElroy's foot. McElroy's still coming back after the trip.
Trying to run it out. Don't forget at the half again, the NFL Today with Brent Irv and Harry Carson, the Giant linebacker, in the studio. The Jets scoring drive, 5 plays, 34 yards, 35 seconds. And as John Madden said, a very impressive drive. Leahy finished it off with a 29-yard field goal, and he's about ready to kick off now. Carter and Morse back deep for the Eagles. Morse at the goal line. And that should finish off the first half. 24-yard return. That's the end of the first half with the score. The Eagles 24 and the Jets 20. Lead by 4 points, 24-20. We begin the second half. Carter, Morse back deep for Philadelphia. Morse at the 3. Down by Tracy Martin. The book on Randall Cunningham.
Yeah, I was talking to Bill Parcells here of the Giants at halftime, and he said this is the best he's seen Randall Cunningham look. Now, most of his play has come from in the pocket, because when he's gone out of the pocket, he's been flushed and gone left 2 times, to the right 6 times. Now look, on the left, when he's gone right, he's rushed for 29 yards, passed for 18. When he's gone left, he's come up with nothing. So where has all his work come from? It's really come from while he's been in the pocket.
He pitches back this time to Byers. Byers is hit by Alex Gordon and Troy Benson after a gain of 1.
I was just saying, there it is. Here we talk about he runs a lot and he's flushed right and left. But where he's done the damage in this first half is when he stayed in the pocket. 11 for 12, 152 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Opening seconds of quarter number 3. Second and 9 it is. The Eagles have the ball at their own 26-yard line. Cunningham gives again to Byers. Byers is hit and knocked backwards after another 1-yard gain, again by Troy Benson.
You know, Troy Benson is the brother of Brad Benson of the Giants. You know, I bet you when his parents had those kids, Brad and Troy and stuff, they probably didn't think they'd be football players. When you name them Brad and Troy. And
1 yard pickup.
you'd think a linebacker, if you were having a kid and you knew he was going to be a linebacker, why not name him something like Whap?
Whap Benson?
Yeah, or you know, something like that. I mean, give him a linebacker name. But Brad and Troy, I bet they didn't think they'd be pro football players.
Here's Cunningham back to throw. Gets it up the middle to Quick, who makes a one-handed grab and breaks away from Jet tackler. Quick gets inside the Jet 45. Finally stopped by Carl Howard.
Hey, Mike Quick did a couple of pretty good things there. One is the catch. Then watch the move that he makes on Rich Miano, number 36, after he catches it. Watch, it comes in here. One-handed catch. Now watch this spinner he does right here. Miano go whoop, and he comes up with an air ball.
He did a heck of a job getting off the line of scrimmage, too, to get away from Howard.
And those were three good things: getting off the line of scrimmage, the catch, and the spinner move on Miano.
5, 2 touchdowns, quick. Cunningham for Jackson this time. Knocked away by Howard at the last second. Again for an NFL update. Let's send you back to the New York studio and Brent Musburger.
Pat, the Bengals again inventing a way. Wilson throws for a touchdown. Then the Saints recover a fumble. And Hilliard bangs in. And now the Saints and the Bengals are deadlocked. Meanwhile, Seattle's Bosworth recovers a fumble. Goes 30-plus yards to set up the go-ahead touchdown. 14-7, Hawks over Chicago. Back to Pat and John.
24-20, the Jets trail the Eagles at Giant Stadium. Second down at 10. The ball at the 43. Here's Cunningham back to throw after the fake to Tony. Again looking for Quick. Pass interference, and no question about that one. Harry Hamilton came over as Quick again had about a 5-yard stretch on the Jet secondary.
They're sure having a problem out here, and again it's that double zone. You see Howard look into the backfield and come running up with a play pass.
39 defense. Automatic first down.
And you see Harry Hamilton, he's the deep guy. He comes over, looks for the ball, just runs right into Quick. But that time, I don't know what Howard was doing, because he not only didn't bump him, but he's looking in the backfield. Watch him. He comes here. As Quick goes by him, he runs by here. Then, of course, there's when you get the penalty. Watch him here. He's looking at the play fake. He lets Quick run right by him. Both of them took a bite. They deserve the penalty there.
That ball gets there a little bit quicker. It's a touchdown. Cunningham. Flag on the play. The pass intended for Tony, who put up one hand. MacArthur, the nearest defender.
Penalty marker on the play.
Illegal use of the hand. Number 15 defense. Half the distance penalty. Automatic first down.
Number 50's Bob Crable. He's at the bottom left of the picture right here. See him right there at the bottom. And it's that hit to the face again. You see on that thing, they're calling that more and more, you know, where they start on the shoulder pads is okay. Then if that hand goes up to the head or face mask, they're calling that now.
So it's first and goal from the 3 for the Eagles. Cunningham. Tony in motion. Gives the ball to Tony.
Anthony Tony carries.
Had Bobby Morse in motion. Marty Lyons, the Jet defender, after a gain of 1.
Hey, there's a tough guy, Anthony Tony. He goes from fullback to halfback to fullback, and he's only 6 foot, but he's 227 pounds. He's a powerful guy.
The Jets make wholesale defensive changes. The Eagles line up Byers and Tony. And Haddix all in the same backfield. And Byers, a flag on the play again. No, something came flying out of the stand. They say touchdown Byers. And a toy football came flying out just as the game began. And that's what I thought was the penalty marker.
And there was one Jet player down there vehemently denying that was a touchdown. He was yelling, no, no, no. But you can see that the ball does break the plane of the goal line.
2 yards for Keith Byers. And a touchdown as McFadden will attempt the extra point to increase the Eagle lead to 11. Melchick the holder, and the kick is good. 11:45 left to play in the third quarter. Eagles 31, the Jets 20. 31-20. The Eagles lead the Jets. They went 75 yards in 6 plays. They kept it 3 minutes and 15 seconds. And Byers scored the touchdown over the top with a 2-yard run. 11:45 left third quarter. Humphrey and Townsell back deep for the Jets. It's going to be Bobby Humphrey who loses it at the 10, picks it up at the 15, and is hammered at that point by Ty Allard again. Christmas Day begins at 12 noon here on CBS, at least Eastern Time, with the NBA. Pistons and the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. And the Big 8's Player of the Year, Thurman Thomas, will lead Oklahoma State against the Mountaineers of West Virginia in the John Hancock Sun Bowl. Promises to be a great and a Merry Christmas right here on CBS. Hope it is for everybody. O'Brien hit as he tried to hand it off. The ball is loose, and it looks like the Eagles might have it. O'Brien never made contact with the runner. Terry Hogue came up with the fumble recovery.
That's the third or fourth time that they've had trouble just getting the ball back and getting it handed off. Now, it looked like just as he was handing the ball off, he was hit by Jerome Brown. That's the thing. Here, you talk about penetration. You can't allow penetration. When someone gets into your backfield, they can really foul up things before they ever have a chance to get started.
31-20, the Eagles already lead. 11:31 left to play, third quarter. That's Tony in motion. The handoff is straight ahead to Byers. And he should have the line of scrimmage. He might have gotten two. Joe Klecko was the first man to hit him.
If you look at the Eagles' last three possessions, they've scored, and it didn't take them much time.
It'll bring up a 2nd and 9 situation now at the Jet 19. Mike Quick now splits out wide to the left, and look out.
Throw deep to Quick.
Go Quick to Quick. Deep. Almost intercepted by Carl Howard.
You know, Byers was out there in front of Quick. Quick thought he was getting the ball. I think that Cunningham threw it too far for Byers and too short for Quick. Watch Quick here. He's running and out. He thinks he's going to get the ball, and Cunningham throws a tweener. He doesn't get it out there far enough, and that was just over Byers' head.
3rd and 9. This time Quick is in the slot to the left. Chris Carter is on the other side. The Jets jump offside again, and Cunningham comes out running. 3-play. Pass knocked away at the last second by Bobby Humphrey. Intended for Garrity, but I think the Jets are offsides again.
You say they have to lead the league in offsides, and if it weren't for a strike, they'd probably set a record for offsides.
They walk it off against the Jets.
Number 73 defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
You know, at some point you think Joe Klecko, who's a smart guy and over the years has been a great player, you'd think he'd like have a meeting with himself and maybe wear earplugs or something and just sit there and get cocked in there towards the ball and just watch the ball.
The Jets have been penalized 8 times for 80 yards. 3rd down and 5. The ball at the 14. Cunningham for Carter. And a diving catch and a touchdown by Chris Carter. Well, Buddy Ryan said, I think we can throw it. And I think we can score some points.
And I think that Chris Carter's going to play more and more, he said. He missed training camp. You know, he came into camp late, then there was a strike, and he said, but now he's ready to play. And it looks like Cunningham can just throw anything he wants to in the end zone over in the left, and he'll get a touchdown.
McFadden for the extra point. Telchik holding. And that makes it 38-20. The Eagles over Jets. With 10.5 minutes left to play in the third quarter, the Eagles have struck quickly and effectively. John Madden, Philadelphia 38, the Jets 20. Bobby Humphrey, JoJo Townsend back deep, and Telchik will kick off for the Eagles. Humphrey at the goal line. Flips down at about the 14 where the Jets will take over.
And look at the bind that the Eagles can put you in. They come out here with 4 wide receivers. Now, when you don't have corners, that's a tough thing to do. They spread you out. You don't have enough to cover 2. They make you cover 4. So down here in the bottom, that puts Chris Carter man-to-man on Sean Dykes, number 22, who is a replacement player. Hey, that was a great catch by Carter in addition to all that 4 wide receiver stuff.
Great athletic ability. Johnny Hector is behind O'Brien. O'Brien gets it out quick to Kurt Sohn. Roynell Young on the coverage. Philadelphia in the last 2 games haven't been able to take advantage of the last 6 turnovers by their opponents, but today they have corrected that situation.
One of the things is they got those turnovers against Miami, and they were playing against Dan Marino, who after a turnover he just goes back and just starts airing it out, so it doesn't mean as much.
Here's O'Brien. Outside the tune by Roynell Young, knocked out of bounds with 9:40 left to play in the third quarter. A gain of 10 and a first down. John L. Williams has just scored for Seattle, and they've taken the lead again over the Bears. Saints tied Cincinnati. They're still in the third quarter. New England Buffalo in the fourth.
Now, the Saints win today. The 49ers really aren't a cinch to win that division.
Right.
They have 2 tough games. I mean, they're playing Atlanta, but then they have to play the Rams.
Under pressure is O'Brien, who gets the ball to Roger Vick, who juggles it, and it's an incomplete pass. Reggie White. Simmons were close to O'Brien when he dumped it off.
Hey, that's even more than a dump off. I mean, that was like a slam dump off. O'Brien's back here. Now he starts to feel the pressure from the backside and the front side. So all he's doing is he wants to get rid of that ball before the impending doom. But you get the doom anyway. At least he didn't get a sack.
Or an interception. A handoff is to Vick. Left side. Fumble. A gain of 4. And the Jets get it back. Dan Alexander came up with the ball.
Yeah, I think that's one of the problems the Jets have had is some of their players that have been good players for them a long time are getting older, like their defensive linemen, and some of the young players that they've drafted really haven't come through. So you get in that bind where your old players aren't as good as they used to be, and you're not getting young help, and this is kind of the end result of it.
Well, Joe Walton says there's going to be an evaluation after it's over. That's Tune in motion. O'Brien back to throw, gets it outside to Johnny Hector. He is stopped short of a first down by Andre Waters. They'll have to punt. Pick up a 4.
Well, that's the play that, no matter what your record is what you're doing has never made sense to me. When you have a third down and you complete a pass and you don't get a first down, that's not good football.
Dave Jennings back to punt. Bobby Morse back deep for the Eagles. They lead 38-20. Morse at his own 31 by Billy Griggs as soon as he made the catch. 31-yard punt, no return. Good coverage by the Jets, particularly by Billy Griggs. And 38-20 with 8:03 left third quarter.
What he has to do, he starts in there, and the first thing you do is you block, 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 block. Ball's kicked, release, 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 release. Then you run, 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 and then tackle, 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 tackle.
That might be your best. That's Anthony Anthony Toney for a gain of 1, stopped by Barry Bennett. Philadelphia been averaging 5.1 yards on first down. The Jets 1.5 on first down. The Eagles lead 38-20, and that helps to explain it. The Vikings rolling toward the playoffs. 2nd and 9. Cunningham, semi-rollout right. Going deep for Quick. Got it again. Jerry Holmes on the coverage, but Quick with another outstanding catch and a gain of 40 yards.
I don't think you can blame the coverage on that one because Cunningham had just too much time. Watch Quick. He starts out there. Holmes hits him within that first 5 yards. Now look how long he has to cover him. He has to cover him on that side of the field, in the middle of the field, then all the way over here. I'll tell you, Cunningham got some of this from his line. He had good protection here. Then he's able to roll out, buy a little time, pump, and then throw. Now that's too much. A quarterback shouldn't be able to pump, and throw. He should boom, throw.
He fires straight ahead for just a yard. Quick has now 6 receptions for 148 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I've always liked Mike Quick because, you know, these are the obvious things you see. His receptions and his 100-yard games and his touchdowns. But I'll tell you another thing about this guy. He is probably, of all the wide receivers in the league, he's probably the best blocker. That's always my kind of guy. I mean, a guy that'll catch him good, all those fancy things good, but then do the tough things, too. This guy will do them.
You don't find that very often. Jackson and Quick both split wide to the right this time. Tony's the lone setback. Cunningham gets it to Byers. Byers gets it down to about the Jet 21, surrounded by MacArthur and Bob Crable. Gain of 6.
The one thing, as we said about that one that Quick caught, you have to give the offensive line and Cunningham, credit and Quick credit, but the big thing is that the Jet defense just doesn't get any pass rush, and that's been the problem that they've had all this end of the season.
You let a guy stand back there that long, they'll all cut you up.
I'll tell you, I was talking to Bill Parcells at halftime, and he told me it's the best he's ever seen Randall Cunningham. I'm thinking the same thing. I've never seen Randall Cunningham look this good.
He gets away again from the pressure and goes deep for Jackson. Incomplete, and no penalty flags this time. Carl Howard back there with him.
You know, Randall Cunningham has a new thing that he wears around his waist now. And he's been having trouble with it. You see, it looks like it's a thing that just hooks on there, and you can put your hands in there while you're calling plays. I wonder if there's some heaters or stuff in there.
Looks like it.
Yeah, see, it's just strapped around his waist and goes down there in the front, and then you put a towel over that, and it's a nice little package.
Might have some loose change in there even. From 39 yards away, with Telchik holding, McFadden will try to put the Eagles in the 40. If it gets there, not good. So the score remains Philadelphia 38 and the Jets 20. Before noon, but as far as Christmas Day is concerned on CBS Sports, it begins at noon with the Pistons against the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. And then the Big H Player of the Year, Thurman Thomas, will lead Oklahoma State against West Virginia in the Sun Bowl. Mickey Schuler made the catch on the pass from O'Brien, stopped by Andre Waters after a gain of 5.
One thing, you know, we haven't seen the ball go into the tight ends much, or even the backs, because I think both teams have a weakness at corner, and the place to work it, if you're going to go, is go upfield and get it to your outside receivers.
Well, of course, Philadelphia has had a very porous pass defense all year long. They're last in the NFL. Here's O'Brien. Chased by Reggie White out of the pocket. Gets rid of it as Schuler. And Schuler is knocked out of bounds at the Jet 45 by Roynell Young.
I'll tell you one thing, this Jet offensive line has really done a pretty good job on Reggie White, because he came in here needing five sacks to get the record. He has one, but I think they've done a pretty good job on him. You see here, Reggie McElroy is blocking him as a right tackle, and I think that overall he's done a nice job against Reggie White.
Schuler got the Jet first down. They're at their own 46. There's O'Brien back to throw, and under pressure again. This time it's Jerome Brown with a sack. O'Brien had no chance.
Jerome Brown is the guy that's been causing the havoc today for the Jets, the guy that's been getting into backfield. You see him, he's going to be right here. He just gets the penetration on that, and you see he's the first thing that O'Brien sees. Watch him here. He just comes to the outside, then he comes right back in. O'Brien saw him and brought the ball down. He looked up and he saw Jerome Brown. He goes, whoop, better put this ball back where it started.
2nd and 17. McElroy, I believe, moved, and White jumped around him. Let's see who's against.
Byron Evans ended up with the ball, and he handed it off to Cobb.
Ball starts. Number 68 and 34 on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
2 false starts.
Well, McElroy, you know, he's the guy who's blocking Reggie White.
The most penalized teams, well, you're looking at one of them. The Jets. They need 22 for the first. O'Brien, Schuler. Got one hand on it. Incomplete. And O'Brien again took a hit from Simmons and White.
I'll tell you, let's watch how strong Reggie White is. He's going to start here. He goes right by the center and guard right through here into O'Brien. Now watch him. When he gets over the center, he can just power right through. Power right through a center, right through a back, and he hits O'Brien just as he throws the ball. I think Reggie White is probably more effective there as a pass rusher than as an end.
3rd and 22. He's in the middle again. They do a little stunt, and the Jets pick it up. Incomplete. Pass intended for Sohn behind him, and the Jets will have to punt again. A lot of empty seats at Giant Stadium today on a very dreary, wet day. But those who are here are letting their unhappy feelings be known. Here's Dave Jennings back to punt. No rush this time, and Jennings gets off a good kick. Bobby Morse back at his own 25. Moves away from one first. And again, Griggs is down in a hurry. 41-37. 41-yard punt. They net 37. 4-yard return. Detroit just scored. Seattle has gone further in front of Chicago, 27-14. Houston leading Pittsburgh. Still a tie between the Saints and the Bengals. New England clings to that lead over Buffalo. Jet player hurt. While we have a moment for an NFL update, well, we're not going to update. That's Guy Bingham. See if we can figure out what happened.
Well, it's just right there at the end of the play. You see Bingham is getting set to make the tackle, and he makes the tackle. And unless something happened before that, looks like he just had to twist his leg in the carpet. Looks like his right arm, doesn't it?
From the way he's holding it. And now that is what it is. And now let's go ahead with that update again. And here again, Brent Musburger in our studio in New York.
The Lions, you gave the score. Here's how they got back into it. It's a great run by James right up the gut. There's plenty of time left in this one. There's 11 minutes. The time is running out on Buffalo right now. They trail New England. They're inside of 2 minutes. If it goes down this way, then Indianapolis controls the AFC East and they can win it with 2 victories. Back to Pat and John.
38-20, the Eagles over the Jets here at Giant Stadium. Bingham being helped off. It was his right arm, a problem with his right arm. Randall Cunningham, 17 out of 27. This guy Bingham for 260 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 of them to Mike Quick. And a very successful day. There's the comparison between O'Brien and Cunningham, both with 17 completions. Cunningham with 3 touchdowns, 2 to Quick, 1 to Carter. It's been a long afternoon for O'Brien. Jackson goes in motion. Cunningham gives the ball back to Byers. Byers to the 35. Stopped by Harry Hamilton. Picked up 6. A very long first half with all the points and all the throwing. See what happened to Joe Klecko.
Well, there he is. You see, the thing that I think you ought to do is look down at the ball. He's looking in there at that guy. He's looking for some movement. But I tell you, that's nose tackle concentration now. Then look what happened. Boom, here comes the center. Whap, here comes the guard. Boom, here comes the ball carrier.
2nd down and 4. The ball belongs to the Eagles at their own 35 as they lead by 18 points. This is Tony. Around the corner, he'll have a first down. He is hammered hard by Kevin MacArthur, but he picked up 7 yards.
You know, it's an interesting thing that Barry Bennett, number 78, is back in there at defense. He's been the regular starter. When the Jets decided to start Gastineau this week, they moved Lyons over to Bennett's spot. And Bennett said, hey, I can see you starting Gastineau if you want to, but I don't think Lyons is playing better than me. You better look at the other guy. Well, Bennett's back now. Lyons is back in his spot, and Gastineau's out.
They don't need a pass rush now. Less than 2 minutes left, 3rd quarter. There's Giles in motion, and this is Byers. He is knocked backwards by Kevin MacArthur and Marty Lyons for a loss of 1. We're talking to Buddy Ryan yesterday about Keith Byers, who they had such high hopes for. And Buddy said what he really needs is a training camp.
That's the thing. Remember, he came out of college and he had that bad foot when he was drafted, so he missed training camp the first year. Then he broke his other foot and he missed training camp this year. So this is his 2nd year in the league, but he hasn't had a training camp.
And Buddy said that's what he really needs. He's carried it 9 times today, picked up only 15 yards. More than 15 now. About 16. He got 1. Barry Bennett on the stop. Word on Guy Bingham is that he has a pinched nerve, and it's questionable whether he'll be back or not.
Let's watch Bennett here. You know, what he's doing now is sometimes he'll play like half linebacker, half defensive line. They put him down, and then he gets up to go back in coverage. That's what he was trying to do on that play.
3rd and 10. Cunningham is going to throw. The Jets are going to blitz. He's not going to throw. 3rd time he's been sacked, and it was Gastineau.
When you're down 38-20, I don't think it deserves that much celebration. They did something. What they do is on this play, we'll see Gastineau. He's going to come from here. What the Jets do is they get 4 down linemen by putting Alex Gordon as a down lineman on the other side. I tell you, Gastineau worked for that one, though. He was down and bounced back up and got it.
Chelchik back to punt for Philadelphia, and JoJo Townsell is back deep, but that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score: the Eagles 38, the Jets 20. And we now pause for a word from your local station. At the 4th quarter, Pat Summerall, John Madden. Chelchik's kick is a good one this time. JoJo Townsell retreats to his own 18-yard line and has a little room. kicker, and John Klingel bring him down. 50-yard punt, return of 25.
This is one of the things that the Jets are excited about, or that they've done well this year, and that's their kick returns. And of course, JoJo Townsell is the type of guy who's one of the best at doing this. Thing is, when you get behind and you don't have the other parts to go with it, that doesn't seem like such a big deal.
First down, Jets at their own 43. They trail the Eagles 38-20. O'Brien chased by Reggie White, gets rid of it. Almost picked off by Byron Evans. Second time today he's had a chance to come up with an interception.
Well, that tackified leather's just not tacking for him today, but he is getting the feeling of the passing game. Usually when you bring a rookie middle linebacker in, he usually plays the run well and isn't very good against the pass. But I tell you, Byron Evans has been around those receptions a couple times today. Look at that, he got there so soon, he didn't know what to do.
O'Brien back to throw again, gets it out to Hector. Hector gets to midfield, stopped by Byron Evans after a pickup of 8. Again, for another NFL update, let's take you back to our New York studio and Brent Musburger.
All right, Pat, time running out on Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills. 58 ticks. And on fourth down, they pour in on Jim Kelly. It's the 5th sack by the Patriots. They upset the Bills 13-7. Indianapolis now in the driver's seat. Back to Pat Summerall.
38-20, and the Jets' playoff hopes disappearing rapidly. In the rain and mist at Giant Stadium. O'Brien outside to Schuler. That should be enough to move the sticks. Gary Cobb knocked him out of bounds, stops the clock with 13:56 left to play in the fourth quarter. Gain of 5.
I think if I were the Jets now, I would know that I need one, and if I'm going to be in this game or have a chance, I got to get a quick one here. And I think I'd be looking for Al Toon. I think somehow you have to have part of your Al offense that you can get to Toon.
There's O'Brien. He starts Rocky Kleber in motion this time. They fake to Hector. They look to Toon. They also look in the direction of Sohn, but it's overthrown everybody. O'Brien again under pressure.
You know, it's easy to blame. Sometimes in a quarterback or in a passing game, it's not one guy. I mean, it's not the coach that designs it. It's not always a quarterback. Sometimes it's a protection that doesn't give a guy time. Sometimes it's a receivers that don't get open. Sometimes it is a quarterback, and sometimes it's a design.
A lot of things involved, as you say. Hard to pin down one single individual if things don't work. Handoff to Johnny Hector. Hector over the right side, gets only 3 yards. Reggie White on the stop. Jerome Brown slow getting up for the Eagles.
The Eagles are sending a bunch of guys out to help them get up. The fans are starting to chant, "Joe must go."
Somewhat angry about the situation. 46,319 no-shows this afternoon. 30,572 showed up.
Hey, it's been a tough year for Joe Walton. It seems like since the strike, they've never gotten back to it, because remember the last game before the strike.
Yep.
They played on Monday night, and they looked like one of the best teams in football. Then they came back after the strike, and they just struggled. But then they always seem to struggle in December. Remember, last year there was no strike, and they lost their last 5 in a row. And I think when you come into this season, you start to lose again. I think the thing the walls just start to fall down on you.
Today's attendance, which I just mentioned a minute ago. You know, John, both of these teams, ironically, forget the strike games, forget the game they missed. Both of them, with their regular players, are 5-5. Yeah, they looked a lot better than that. Here's O'Brien. He's under pressure again, and he overthrows Dennis Blidgen. That was a third down. It brings up a fourth, and they'll have to punt.
I don't think they're going to punt. Yeah, I guess it looked like Joe Walton said, just go for it. But he must have said, just punt. Whatever it is, I'm sure he's saying, in front of it.
13:22 left to play. Morse goes back. Number 36 for Philadelphia, and Dave Jennings back to punt. Well, you remember early in the game, they ran a fake punt. This time, no fake. Jennings gets off a good high kick, sailing into the end zone, and he'll bring it back to the 20. 42-yard punt by Dave Jennings. 13:15 left to play. The Eagles leading by 18 points.
That the Jets can get back into this game. I don't think there's a possibility that they can get back into this season. I think this is a team that is really very close to rock bottom and is a very frustrated team.
13:15 left to play. Cunningham brings the Eagles out at their own 20. They lead 38-20. Hand off to Tony, left side, and there was nothing. He might have struggled for a yard before he stopped by Bob Crable, but not much doing.
I'll tell you one thing, if we look at the pass distribution, you look at, they've thrown 17 times to the wide receivers. Now that's really pro football. That's the way it should be. Running backs 5, tight ends 1 for 2. You can see part of that is the Eagles throwing to their outside receivers. The other part is that's the Jets' weakness, that corner position.
Here's Cunningham. Gets it to Byers. Byers breaks one tackle, gets outside the 25. Troy Benson brought him down. Another NFL update, and let's again send you back to Brent Musburger.
All right, Pat, they were down 24-3, and now the Saints have taken a lead on the Bengals in Cincinnati. Morton Anderson hammers in the field goal, 27-24, 7 minutes to go. Meanwhile, 8 minutes in Chicago, Peyton has scored twice, 27-21, Seahawks lead it. Back to Pat and John.
We have just over 12 minutes remaining in this contest. The Eagles in control of this one, 38-20. 3rd and 4. Cunningham out of the spread. One of those times he might take off. Gets it up the middle to Tony, who's wide open, and Tony gets an Eagle first down outside the 40 to about the 42. A gain of 16. Rich Miano and Bob Crable made the stop.
I've always thought that's the way to go. You know, we showed how many times Cunningham has gone to his outside receivers. Now they start concentrating outside, and then just watch Tony. He's just going to block and then fake and then check through right in the middle. Now everyone's worked outside. Everyone's worried about quick. They're all going that way, and they just leave that entire middle open.
Wick is out wide to the left this time. Jackson to Cunningham's right. Myers hammers straight ahead. Picked up 6 yards. Barry Bennett on the stop. Houston. Warren Moon has just thrown a 30-yard touchdown pass to Drew Hill. And they're leading Pittsburgh by a comfortable margin now. Second down and 3. The Eagles have the ball at their own 47-yard line. Byers gets the call again, is hit in the backfield by Crable. They tripped up at that point, no gain.
Something when we were talking to both coaches yesterday and talking about the draft. they both said the thing that they need. They both said the number one thing that they're looking for in the draft is defensive backs. Buddy Ryan also mentioned a kicker.
He did say he'd probably draft a kicker, and he said there's some of them out there. Interesting, too, John. He said we're looking for defensive backs, particularly cornerbacks, because they can come in and play right now. Cunningham rolls left. Flag on the play. Pass intended for Spagnola, incomplete, but a penalty marker down.
Because the other thing he said, Buddy Ryan was saying, we're looking for defensive backs, then linebackers, and then a kicker. I think he feels that his offense, with Randall Cunningham, with the backs that he has, he thinks his offense is solid enough. But he believes, you know, that Buddy Ryan's been around.
Offense, penalty decline, 4th down.
He believes in this league you win with defense. And of course, he's had that success. You know, he was a Jet assistant coach that went to the Super Bowl, Minnesota Viking assistant coach who went to the Super Bowl, and also the Chicago Bears. So he's been there 3 times as a defensive coach.
Why does he say, John, that a cornerback can come in and play immediately where he can't do it in another position?
Because covering is just instinct, and if you have that instinct, you can do it right away.
That's Townsell at the 8. With some room. Got to beat Telchik, and that's all. And he can't do it. The kicker, Telchik, who is a marvelous athlete to begin with, hung in there and made the stop.
I never agree that kickers are marvelous athletes. But this play that Telchik makes here, I'm going to agree with you. In fact, I didn't even know if I was going to have a punter on. This guy may be all bad.
Well, he might be. He's got good hands. And we're at Giant Stadium. Jets have the ball. O'Brien, the quarterback. And O'Brien snowed under by the Eagle rush, led by Reggie White, the 3rd time he's been sacked all day. Telchik, the punter.
Well, look, he looks so clean here. I mean, the guy looks like a punter. 6'2", 250, blonde-haired, blue-eyed. But watch this play here. I mean, you'd get arrested for that in the streets.
He was an all-state wide receiver in high school at Texas before he went to the university.
And the amazing thing, here's a kicker, and he already has 2 tackles and 2 assists today.
Right.
He'll be up in there with the stats with the linebacker. That's an NFL record for a punter. He's breathing a little of that air out of there. I think he hyperventilated on that tackle. Guy can't make too many of those in his lifetime. 4 in one day, you kidding?
Pull his arm out of the socket. Zone the move man. Here's O'Brien back in the pocket again and out of the pocket. Now this time he's going to go all he can deep. Incomplete. It was Schuler. The ball, I think, slipped out of O'Brien's hand. Didn't look like it had much on it.
That's on that end, and then on the other end, it looked like it slipped out of Schuler's hand. Schuler's going over there and saying, what, me on a deep pass pattern? That never happens.
Jets sent in the punting unit again. Dave Jennings. Bobby Morse back deep for the Eagles. Jumped and started a point as soon as he jumped.
Well, he pointed at number 92, Ken Rose. Ken Rose is the guy that came to the Jets during the strike as a replacement player. He'd been an assistant coach, a strength coach at UCLA. He's right there. They say he's one of the strongest guys on the team, and in all those athletic tests they have, one of the best testing guys. So after the strike, they just kept him around.
What do they say is?
The penalty will be encroachment defense. A delayed reaction. Ball is on the defense, 5 yards, still 4th down.
Delayed reaction.
You got different types of encroachments now. You got your basic encroachment, then you got your delayed encroachment. Both of them only 5 yards.
said Rowe's vertical jump was what, 45 inches?
Yeah, like 4 feet 8.
Jennings gets the punt off to Morse. Signals fair catch. 34-yard punt. And the Eagles will take over with 8:32 remaining.
You know, in that last drive, here's Reggie White here, and he did get the sack of Ken O'Brien. So that gives him 19. That's his second sack today. See him working over Bingham, starts to his left, get right side and sacks O'Brien. So he has 2 sacks today, 19 for the year. Of course, the record's 22.
38-20. The Eagles lead. This is Tony, left side. Pickup of 2, stopped by Klecko. Philadelphia has the ball, their own 19-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 8. Disconsolate Joe Walton.
You know, you get to a point that you don't know what you have to do. He took this week and said, let's just have fun. Because they had the 2 big games against Miami, New England. They lost both of those. Said if we can't get up for those, what can we get up for? Let's just loosen up and have fun. And that's not working either.
This is Byers. He tried to roll off a tackle and was hit from the backside by Bob Crable. No gain on the play. But the clock continues to run with 7.5 minutes left to play. Looking at that wild card scramble, Minnesota has improved their records now to 8-6. St. Louis 6-7. Vikings beat Detroit by a field goal, 17-14. 3rd down and 8, and Cunningham operates out of the spread formation, comes out of the pocket, and takes off with it. And dodges a couple of guys and gets a Philadelphia first down. A nifty move.
You know, there's some things that Randall Cunningham does on a football field that he looks more like an NBA basketball player. Have you noticed that? And this is one of them. When he starts moving like that, and now he not only has his feet to move, but he also has that ball to be a fake. Watch him. He'll put it up, he'll pump the thing, he'll move back and forth. He looks like one of those guys going down there to slam dunk or something.
Except they say he can't shoot. He's a good basketball player, but got no touch.
Well, I know, but you never admit that. You just say you do. Who's going to watch anyway? You're a pro football player. You say, yeah, I'm great. I got good shots. Then you never play.
1st and 10. Byers gets the handoff, and Byers still on his feet and still going as Byers fumbles the ball. It bounces right back up to him. Everything happened correctly to Keith Byers. Carl Howard made the stop. He picked up 30 yards.
You know, Byers is one of those guys that's a powerful guy. I mean, he's had that foot problem, but you don't realize that he's as big as he is. I mean, he's a 230-pound guy. And you can see he has that balance. He has the ball out there. The ball just drops out of his hand and bounces right back. But he's a guy, when he gets healthy and has the training camps, I think he has a chance to be a real good back in this league.
Tampa Bay leading St. Louis now 7-0. If the Buccaneers beat St. Louis, that eliminates the Cardinals from the playoff picture. Minnesota's already won. Here's Byers again. Wrapped up by Alex Gordon. A loss of 2.
I think there's a guy who's playing one of his best games this year, at least since the strike, and that's Alex Gordon. He's kind of one of those guys who's a half linebacker and half defensive lineman. He plays linebacker on some downs, then on passing down, he gets down as a down lineman. But he's been active today. He's been in on a lot of plays.
6'5", 245 is Gordon. And he is another one of those who has an outstanding future. You should never want to predict greatness because you never know about injuries and you never know this early. Here's a draw play to Byers. Byers is taken down for no gain by Marty Lyon.
You know, a draw play is one of those plays that really doesn't work well at the end of a game like this. A draw play works well when everyone's fresh and they're going boom, 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 and you just run right by them. Now, you get the defenses kind of beaten down. They're tired. They're not going anywhere anyway. And you just run a draw whap right into them.
Third down. They need 12 for a first, and Cunningham goes back. In the shotgun formation again. Garrity split wide to the left. Quick and Carter to the right. Cunningham with time. Intended for Carter. Incomplete. Bounced away from him.
You know, one thing we haven't had here today, and usually get in the second half of a game here at Giant Stadium, is a squirrel. Squirrel running out on the field.
Squirrel didn't like the rain.
Probably, yeah.
Or maybe the squirrel's a Giant fan.
I wonder if Telchik is going to make another tackle here.
He's back at midfield to punt it. Townsell back deep for the Jets. High kick. Townsell's going to let it bounce. He goes down to cover it. It hits one of them in the shoulder at about the 9-yard line. And that's where the Jets will take over. 26-yard punt, but it's effective. Minnesota beat Detroit. St. Louis at the moment is losing. New England beat Buffalo. That's the final as well. They're in the fourth quarter in Chicago with Seattle leading the Bears. Houston over Pittsburgh 24-16 to keep their hopes alive. And New Orleans has come back and leads Cincinnati now by 10. O'Brien has the ball batted away. Don't you know, John, New Orleans just scored again, a second touchdown for Buford Jordan. Don't you know, for that wild card game, if New Orleans is the host, or for any game, that's going to be a wild scene.
That will be, and then, you know, it could be right there after New Year's down there in New Orleans. They'll have a lot to celebrate. They're going to have New Year's Eve and a Sugar Bowl and if they are the wild card, although I don't think that's automatic
No,
yet.
I don't either.
You know, the 49ers still have to beat the Rams, and the way New Orleans is playing, I just wouldn't give that division to the 49ers right now.
Al Toon, who just made that reception, has caught 8 today for a total of 101 yards. And some of the few fans who remain have a banner in tribute. Johnny Hector gets a Jet first down before he's stopped finally by Terry Holt. Pickup of 16. Roynell Young a little slow rising. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League, is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the New York Jets and the National Football League is prohibited. Reggie White is the Eagle who's still down. See what happened.
That's what it looks like down there. You see, he's coming in, he sees the run, he goes to close down the run. Oh, and then, yeah, right there at the end of the play, someone rolled up on his left leg.
This, by the way, is Al Toon's third game in a row of over 100 yards receiving. But Reggie White, the day he's had 2 sacks, giving him a total of 19, 4 tackles, and 5 hurries.
You know, and to get those things, he lines up all over the field, too. You know, he'll line up as over the tight end, he lines up over the tackle, he lines up over the center. So the first thing you have to do is you have to find out where he is, then you have to get him blocked.
And that, perhaps, is a little bit easy to say.
Let's look where he's lined up today, Betsy. He was 18 times over a tight end, 15 times over the right tackle and 28 times over the center. I think on pass rush, he's the most effective over the center.
Well, he's so big, he can dominate most of the centers, and so quick to go with it. Here's O'Brien. To Tune. Hit by Hogue, and hit hard, but Tune held on.
You know, Buddy Ryan calls his defenses, you know, he has names for everything. Hogue is from Georgia, and when he blitzes, the key word for that is peaches.
O'Brien dumps it off to Schuler. Flag on the play. Gain of 4. They'll stop the clock with this penalty. Seth Joyner made the stop. It's going to be against the Jets. (38-20).
Number 87, offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Halftime, it was close, 24-20. The Eagles led and got 2 quick touchdowns and sort of tucked things away.
I see Reggie White is back up on the sideline, and he's in a position here where he looks like he's ready to go in again, so his knee is okay.
For Tune, and it's going to be a touchdown on a blitz. O'Brien was hit just as he let it go by Byron Evans on a blitz, but it's a 51-yard touchdown pass. William Frizzell, I don't think, even thought the ball was going to come out in that direction.
Well, that's the thing that you can't do, no matter what the score. When you're a corner and you're playing against Al Toon, you better not get turned around like that. Frizzell looked like he not only got turned around, he didn't see the ball, but he looked like he quit on the play.
Watch what happened to O'Brien. Here comes the blitz from Evans.
And he didn't even see it. O'Brien just threw it up there, knew where Toon was, and he had no idea that that was a touchdown.
Leahy for the extra point with Ryan holding. 38-27. With 2 minutes and 23 seconds left to play, Al Toon has caught 10 passes for 160 yards. He just caught that touchdown pass, and that ties his career high. 38-27, the Eagles by 11.
I'm not sure what Frizzell was thinking of out there, because he looked like he had coverage. He sees him. Here's Frizzell here. He comes in here. He gets even. He looks. Then he runs back and just stops back there. Because watch him. Toon comes off. There's William Frizzell. He's playing here. He's looking. He gets turned around. Now right there, he just lets up. And then he tries to put it on again. That had to be a mental lapse.
Like he put it in neutral for a second or two and then try to shift back in gear again.
And the Jets are 1 football less, as you saw Al Toon take that ball off the field and tell someone, here, put this one away for me.
2:23 left to play. Pat Summerall, John Madden at Giant Stadium. 38-27 onside kick has to be certainly in everybody's mind at this point. Amazing. The Packers made it work twice in a row yesterday against the Giants.
Well, you can see that the Eagles are expecting it because they have 9 men up. The only thing you don't know, you know they're going to onside kick, but you don't know exactly where, but it looks like Leahy's lined up to kick it to their right. There's a shift.
Straight ahead. That's Michael Haddix. Ball bounced right up to him, and he made the recovery for the Eagles, and they'll take over there with 2 minutes and 20 seconds now remaining. Both teams with all of their timeouts left. A look at the AFC Central situation. Cleveland 8-5. Houston beat Pittsburgh, so they're 8-6, tied with the Steelers, but with a better record within the division, and Cleveland pretty much in the driver's seat, although they're losing to the Raiders right now 3-0. Matt Cavanaugh is now the Philadelphia quarterback. Haddix is one of the runners behind him. That's Junior Tartalatati. On his feet and gets out of bounds after a good gain of about 8.
It was funny, Matt Cavanaugh handed the ball off and was watching Totalatasi, and he was talking him out of going out of bounds. He was there and he was going, no, don't get out of bounds.
Didn't work.
No, because they wanted to get it down to the 2-minute warning. See, that's what a backup quarterback is used for. Cavanaugh's in there now running out the clock. Guys walk by, you see him wipe their hands off on his jersey. They always do that. That backup quarterback's always clean.
Usually he's got a loud voice. Here's Totalatasi straight ahead for the first down. Troy Benson made the stop. That should get him down. Now the Jets take a timeout. First down, I beg your pardon, they didn't take a timeout. They'll get down to the 2-minute warning, and that'll stop it. 38-27, the Eagles over the Jets.
I'm leaving after the game on the bus. I think I go through Willow Creek. Between here in California, I go through a lot of Willow Creeks.
Somebody might tell you to Wopat. Here's Totalatasi straight ahead over the right side. The gain of 3. Kevin MacArthur made the stop. Situation in the West as the Jets take a timeout. The 49ers 11-2, 3-1 in the division. New Orleans already won today. They beat Cincinnati. Their record improves to 11-3. They beat Cincinnati 41-24. Atlanta and San Francisco just underway. No score in that. And as John Madden said earlier, it's no shoe-in for the 49ers to be the division champions with the Saints playing the way they are.
Right, because if they tie, if the 49ers lose one game either today or next week, and the Saints win next week, they win the division. Because with the tiebreakers, New Orleans has it over the 49ers.
They have a better record within the division.
And then the 49ers, of course, they don't have Joe Montana. So you got about a half a deck there.
Second down and 6. A ball at the 30. The Eagles leading 38-27. Chris Carter goes in motion. Totalatasi again gets the handoff. There's a flag on the play. A loss of 2, and again they take a timeout. Alex Gordon made the initial hit on Totalatasi.
Yeah, I bet the Eagles are just going to run the clock out. Cavanaugh probably isn't going to throw. The hint I get there is that Cavanaugh's wearing gloves.
What an observation.
You put your backup quarterback on and you tell him leave your gloves on and run out the clock.
The bus to Los Angeles, or to San Francisco to home, and then to Los Angeles.
Yeah, go home and then to Los Angeles for next week game. The Raiders at the Bears at the Raiders. I'm looking forward to that. I'll be home for Christmas. I've been, like in 20 years, I've been home for Christmas twice.
I think I'm in a first place tie with that same stat. Second down. Line of scrimmage at the 40. The Eagles leading the Jets 38-27. And off to Totalatasi, who slides down but was not going anywhere anyway. Bob Crable made the stop. And again, the Jets take a timeout and stop that clock with 1:41 left to play.
I guess you have to go through the motions. You know, the Jets put up a pretty good fight in the first half, and then the Eagles just took over and controlled the game in the second half, and now it seems like to me that they're just prolonging the agony here.
Well, I guess you have to, as you say. You don't want it to appear to anyone that you've given up all hope, although it would appear that hope is gone. 3rd and 18. Cavanaugh just gives it over the left side to Haddix. And the Jets meet him right at the line of scrimmage and 2 yards. And the Jets use their last timeout. Again, a reminder that later today, a special edition of CBS Sports Sunday, the Wilson Sports Year in Review. Was quite a year, too.
Yeah, I know it. You were part of that. You did the golf and tennis.
Right.
And I had the pleasure of doing the football. That's going to be a nice package. A lot of sports in there. All kinds of sports.
Larry Mize' great shot. Bill Parcells' Super Bowl. The Giants. Was quite a year. Still is. A lot left.
And there's that Boom Boom Telcher.
And the Jets got everybody up on the line of scrimmage. Telchik quickly got it away, rolling and going in the end zone.
It was interesting. What the Jets did is they needed the ball back, so they just put everyone up on the line of scrimmage. Had no return guy back. Figured, what the heck? They didn't want to receive that or return it anyway. Either get the block or get the ball in the 20.
They are out of timeouts now with 1:26 to go. And the Eagles leading 38-27. This might be the longest game of the year.
I'll tell you, you're going to have long games when you have a number of penalties and passes. You add those two things up, that's what causes long games.
Here's O'Brien. Schuler, the ball comes loose. Says it's a completed pass. It's the way it's ruled. Russell Gary made the hit. Pickup of 9. Second down and 1. Here's O'Brien up in the pocket. Schuler again. He gets out of bounds. Made the catch. Evan Cooper made the hit. Clock is stopped with now just 1 second under a minute left. 20-yard gain by Schuler. Division champions, the Washington Redskins, have already clinched the East. They're 8-3 in the conference. Chicago now 10-4 and 9-2 in the conference. Seattle has beaten the Bears today. Johnny Hector gets out of bounds, chased by Russell Gary. Pickup of 6.
Yeah, you look at that and it's hard to say what team is the best team in the NFC. I know at one time I thought it was the Bears, and they've been having their problems lately, and then a lot of people think the 49ers, but I think right now if I had to right now, I would think the best team of the New Orleans Saints.
Second down and 4. The Jets at the Eagle 45. Here's O'Brien. Intended Schuler again. Incomplete. Seth Joyner on the coverage. Clock stopped now with 48 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Reggie White, we talked about the sacks, the record being 22, and he had 17 coming into today's game. He got 2 today, so he has 19. He's still in there trying to get a sack. He'd like to. This is defensive garbage time in the NFL, and he's trying to pick up one after an injury in garbage time.
O'Brien now has 25 completions and 47 attempts. 48 coming up. For Schuler, incomplete. He was there. Clock stopped now with 43 seconds left to play. Eagles 38-27 over the Jets. Gloomy afternoon, especially on that side of the field.
Looks like Zeke Brakowski was having a tough time getting a play there. What do you want us to do?
4th and 4. O'Brien chased out of the pocket by Simmons. Finally gets rid of it, throws it away. That'll take care of this afternoon's activity. The Jets out of timeouts. The Eagles offensive unit, led this time by Matt Cavanaugh, heads on.
Yeah, I think the Jets are out of season. They came in today, and I don't think anyone felt that they had a chance for the playoffs. I don't think the coaching staff, the players, it was just something. Get some consistency back, get some pride back, get something back. And in the first half, they had that enthusiasm, those types of things they were looking for, and then they just lost everything in the second half.
Well, the Eagles struck quickly for those 2 touchdowns right after the half. The enthusiasm went away. Cavanaugh just kneels. Buddy Ryan thinks he has the Eagles on the right track. Buddy Ryan thinking that with a couple of drafts, he can have his team in the playoffs and perhaps even down in the finals. Don't forget, coming up next, the post-game show with Brent and highlights of the day and all the situations leading up to the playoffs. That's coming up next. So for John Madden, this is Pat Summerall saying so long from Giant Stadium, where the final score was the Eagles 38, the Jets 27. You've been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.